I don't care if you've been trying to attempt a shitty ass coup all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dank shit on my left. Blue.
Yeah! Strike first! Yeah! Strike hard! Yeah! No mercy!
On my far right, engineer. You got the shirt and everything. On my far right, engineered on the ones and twos, choke people on the threes and fours, Chronos.
Do not negotiate with terrorists.
In the middle, we got the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
I know the pieces fit because I've watched them fall away.
Last but not least, we got your boy Stitch.
Never underestimate the power of large groups of stupid people.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
There's going to be some speechless moments in this cast. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, yes, there are. Yes, there are. It's going to be embarrassing. But let's get through the normal intro shit. You know.
Yep.
The cast must go on for right now. So listener of the week would be Alan. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we were late, so there's nobody in the chat yet. Somebody just picked it up, but nobody's in the chat yet.
So, all right.
Yeah.
We'll shout them out when they do. Old Ninja. We got a good list this week. A pretty robust one. Are you looking at it? You ready to rock and roll?
I'm waiting for my introduction, bruh.
Yeah. Pour out that beverage.
We pouring out some Code 45 this week. For our dearly departed, we're going to start with Jared Nandin, I believe or Nadine. I think it's Nandin. Best known for his cosplay in the Blizzard community. He's passed away. Jared rose to viral fame for his 2013 cosplay of That Which Has No Life, or simply the South Park guy. The unkempt antagonist of South Park's World of Warcraft episode, Make Love, Not Warcraft. He was diagnosed with COVID-19 in mid-December, but he had succumbed to the illness this past Sunday. Fans had posted to social media of them holding up their Sword of a Thousand Truths. Honoring him, the Sword of a Thousand Truths is actually a flash drive. It was a reference to the episode of Make Love, Not Warcraft. Jared was 40 years old.
God damn. I think I met him at WonderCon one of those years back in the mid-20 teens.
So his cosplay is pretty damn spot on. Like, he has the desk and he like glued like all the stuff to his table. He cut his hair to look like the character, had the glasses and everything. It was actually quite epic. Next up we have Eric Jerome Dickey. New York Times best-selling author Eric Jerome Dickey has passed away. He was once a software developer for Rockwell International, but he left the industry to be an actor and stand-up comedian. Over his career, he's written for Essence Magazine, USA Today, and the LA Times. He wrote the graphic novel Storm, which reimagines the first meeting of Ororo Munroe and T'Challa, aka Storm and Black Panther. Two of his books, Friends and Lovers and Cheaters, have been turned into touring plays, basically traveling plays, whatever the new term is, whatever. He's won an NAACP award for his writing, and his final novel, The Son of Mr. Soulman, I believe it's Suleman, I believe it's pronounced Soulman. His last book will be released in April of 2021. He died of cancer at the age of 59. Next up, we have Victoria Lee Blum, known by her stage name as Tanya Roberts. She was an 80s heartthrob who first appeared in commercials for Excedrin, Ultra Bright, and Clairol. Her first film was a horror film called Force Entry, which had a name change to The Last Victim for some reason. After a bunch of failed pilots, she was in the final season of Charlie's Angels, which earned her the cover of People magazine because they believed that she was going to save the show, which did not happen. She took a one-season role as a secretary in the show Mike Hammer, but left the show to star in what the woke culture would call a problematic movie, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
Oh boy.
She would go on to star in the cult favorite Beastmaster, which Roberts would grace the pages of Playboy magazine to promote the film. She then became a Bond girl, starring in A View to a Kill, the final film of Roger Moore's tenure as Bond. She went on to star as Midge Pincanti, I believe that's how it's in the That 70s Show. I don't watch the show, so I have no idea what her character is. She retired from acting in 2005. She first reported to have died on January 3rd, as was told to her manager by her partner, but it was reported in error as it was an end-of-life visit. She died due to a urinary tract infection.
God
on
damn.
January 4th.
That's like pretty rare to like die from that.
So she basically died of a blood disease because the tract infection infected the blood, which spread to her organs, which caused organ failure and caused her to die.
Dude, that's like Jack Daniels. He stumped his toe in a fucking safe and died like a couple of years later because he got like gangrene and fucking died from the infection.
Or Harry Houdini, who died from a punch to the stomach. Last up, we have MF Doom, a rapper who wore a mask similar to Dr. Doom. His real name is Daniel Dumel, I believe, or Dumel? I believe it's Dumel. He has passed away. He started out as a member of the rap group KMD under the name Zev Love X. The group disbanded in 1993. He wore a mask and he became MF Doom, and he states, because this is a great quote, he says, quote, "I wanted to get on stage and orate without people thinking about the normal things people think about, like the girls saying, hey, oh, he's sexy, or I don't want him because he's ugly, and then other dudes sizing you up. A visual always brings a first impression, but if there's going to be a first impression, I might as well use it to control the story. So why not? So why not do something like throw on a mask?" So that was his quote. He's made.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. So he made 6 studio albums. He's had 5 collaborations, including with Danger Mouse and Ghostface Killah. He's known for his intelligent rhymes and his creative use of wordplay. He's been an influential to many artists.
Gotta mute that. Gotta mute that.
Yeah. On New Year's Eve, his wife announced that he had passed away on Halloween of 2020. Which was confirmed by his other representatives. He is 49 years old. No cause of death has been released. Blue, what's your question?
I was gonna say, like, I looked him up and I was like, wait, it said he died on October 31st, and how come the news is just coming out now that he passed away? That's just crazy.
His family released his death on New Year's Eve. So for whatever reason, they kept that close to the chest. And his cause of death has also not been released, even though there's been numerous media outlets requesting the family to release the details, but so far, nothing. We might get it later on, no idea. So,
somebody said he's chilling with Pac. He's not really dead.
God damn.
Oh, I guess a special RIP to the American democracy system.
We're gonna talk about it. Before we dive in, though, real quick, it's not an RIP. I want to be really clear on this, but a real shout out and a get well wish to Dr. Dre, Andre Young. He was hospitalized, I think it was just yesterday, with a possible brain aneurysm. Looks like sounds like he's recovering, but I'm just gonna remind people, Dr. Dre put way more rappers on the map, household name rappers on the map, than probably anybody in the history of hip hop music, and so he's a legend. I hope he gets well.
Yeah, and he's also a guy that went through a lot of personal tragedy in his life, and he kept most of it relatively private because most people don't know that his son died and all this other shit happened to him, and especially with this divorce going on, where she's just trying to take him to the cleaners, and it's just like, what? I mean, not surprising, but it's like, hey, he's already going through a shit time. I hope that he recovers from this aneurysm and comes back. I hope he makes music again, but I've been hoping for that for like the longest time. I know that there was a whole record made that was not put out, but do what you gotta do, man. Everything that he does, he basically has the Midas touch when it comes to beats. So
yeah,
and he's a relatively good rapper as well. So yeah.
This might be a little fucked up, but I wonder if he gave himself a little eargasm with his mellow accent.
I just hate it. I hated seeing like there was some, to me misguided shade thrown at him, just like there was when the Straight Outta Compton movie came
About
out.
D
Yes, he's
Barnes.
made mistakes. I'm not saying anybody's perfect, but at the same time, be a decent human being and just wish him the best from a health standpoint. Like you know,
Well,
I mean, like, to me,
well, this is okay. So we're gonna do some sort of double speak. We're gonna wish him well, even though he did some bad shit. But we're also gonna shit on a whole bunch of people in a few minutes. Or we're not gonna give them we're not gonna give these people the same sort of reverence or even like leeway that we're giving Dr. Dre. So yeah, we realize that you can call it hypocrisy if you want. I don't give a fuck right now, and we'll get into it in a second. But I don't give a fuck if you call us hypocrites.
It's our podcast. We can make the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Damn straight. Okay, who wants to set it up? Somebody. This is a lot.
Well,
there's a lot to unpack.
I'll
weird.
set up the beginning
Well,
only because I was watching it live. I watched it live, like literally. So, work for me was kind of slow today, and so I had on YouTube, I had up the Senate speaking about the electoral college votes and like not certifying it but actually like accepting the electoral college votes, and I wanted to see like how many senators were going to Republican senators were going to oppose the electoral college. And Ted Cruz came up and said a bunch of bullshit, like just he basically wanted to have like a council of 10 people, oh sorry, council, I think it was like 15 people to examine to examine all this information for 10 days. I'm like, this has already been done for more than 10 days.
Yeah.
It's been like multiple months where people have gone through this, including courts that have gone through this and examined the actual evidence, and they found it sorely lacking. Sorely lacking, okay? So there's no reason for this to keep going on. It's just, this
When
is
was
all...
the election? No, it was November 3rd, right? The election happened.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is all, like, conjecture, and it's theater at best. At best, it's theater. Because no matter what happens, President-elect Biden, he's going to be the president. You cannot stop this, So I'm watching these, some of these clowns come up and try to oppose this and like say they want to have objections, but there's really no need to object. Like I said before, it's already been investigated multiple times. They've had recounts in some of these states up to 3 fucking times. Literal recounts where they're hand counting everything, making sure that it's good to go, But it's been good to go. So, and to do this again is just ridiculous. So anyway, there was some guy that came up, he was a Republican guy, and he started speaking his thing about how he was going to oppose the Electoral College. I'm like, okay, the same utter bullshit. And as he's speaking, all of a sudden they stop him from speaking, and they go to basically stop all the proceedings. And then basically like it wasn't chaos, but people were like scrambling around on the Senate floor. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And like they cut the audio immediately. I think I was watching the Washington Post feed. They cut the audio immediately, so nobody was talking. And I was like, why is people like running around, coming in and out of this session? Like, what the fuck is happening? So I turn on the news, and I turn on to CNN, and fucking, I didn't know there was mass protests outside. Mass protests outside the Capitol building, where they were having both all of Congress, which is the House and the Senate, there to have oppositions, or normally it's just count the fucking electoral college and then you're done with it. There might be some small opposition, but it's usually not a big deal. But I literally watched them storm the building, get onto the steps of the building, and then breach the building. And I was like, first of all, I was like, why the fuck are they even on the steps of this building? Why are they on the steps of this building? Where the fuck are the police? Where is the National Guard? Where is all? There should have been enhanced security during this time, because we all knew that they were building up to like having some sort of event like this happen. We all fucking knew this because of the words that certain Republicans and the president himself were saying. Earlier this morning, he was talking about he was literally inciting violence by telling his constituents to go to the Capitol building and not accept what happened. I'm just like, how can you fucking do that? And so we have these people, these crazy people, these terrorists, smash through windows, break down doors, storm the Capitol building, not get shot. Amazingly, nothing happened to them. They were in the same room where Congress previously was, sitting there in their same chairs, you know, and in their offices, writing down notes, stealing stuff, doing all this shit.
Yep.
A woman got shot, and I'm like, where is law enforcement's response to this? There was literally little to no response to any of this happening.
And they knew it was going to take place too.
What's up?
I said they knew this protest was going to happen.
Yes, because they
organized.
they were already there.
Let's get Sketch in here. Go ahead.
I mean, this goes back months ago.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest.
Yeah.
When the gasoline started to get poured onto the floor.
No, honest, it was years ago. This was years ago. The Make America Great Again.
I mean, yeah,
that slogan.
Yeah, I mean, I just to prevent myself from talking for fucking a half hour about this, but I mean, let's just timestamp it at the fucking debate when he would not admit to accepting the election results if he lost. He was asked point blank, and he's like, no. He's like, the only way I will lose this is if there is a scam, a cheat, or whatever. So he put that out there, or whatever, and even before that, but that's when they started to try to pin him down on this, and they asked him point blank, will you accept, and I can't think of the guy from CNN who was the debate moderator at the time, it was straight up asking him, like, are you willing to accept the results if you lose? And Biden was like, yeah, I'll accept it one way or the other. I'm for America, blah, blah, blah. And Trump was like, he pretty much was like, nah, I'm not accepting it. Then we go fast forward a little bit to election night when he came out while the votes were being counted. And that's when I was just like, holy shit, this is highly inflammatory. He's just throwing plutonium now into the fucking mix when he's just like, this is a sham. This election is rigged before the votes were even counted, and he's putting this out into the ether while he was still winning at the time. And I'm just like, this is so fucking bad. This is unprecedented, and people are just like, yo, you can't even be doing this. And even his boy Chris Christie, who was his debate prep guy, who was the former governor of New Jersey, one of his best friends is just like, you can't do this. This is not right. This is not how things are supposed to be done. Then you go to him eventually losing the election, and everything that has he's been throwing dry firewood, fucking pallets, fucking cardboard boxes, fucking Molotov cocktails into a big ass bonfire worth of shit. Leading up to this moment, I mean, even beforehand, we had these when they were doing recounts and Pennsylvania's cheating. Then you add on all this stuff with his lawyer saying this is bullshit, blah blah blah. We're gonna fight this. All the stuff he's done with the Supreme Court, and then you add on to him losing all these consecutive battles, him going 1 for 60 something in the fucking courts that he packed himself and everything, and him not being able to physically accept it. And we're not going to. I mean, then I'm obviously skipping over a lot of stuff, but before this just happened, he's on the fucking phone trying to get election officials in Georgia to turn over results. Not to say like, oh, we need to count all the votes. He's giving a specific number of votes we need to find so he can win the election and everything. This is leading up to what just happened yesterday. But yeah, jump on.
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in here for one quick second and just remind people, just in case they're listening from Scotland or somewhere else. Shout out to Dirty Stu. That is on tape. There's full audio for any person with internet connection or whatever to listen for themselves to the president literally trying to strong arm and bribe and blackmail election officials in Georgia to come up with 11,780 votes that were not given to him.
And then
Republican election officials.
Yep.
What was it, like an hour and a half audio of this conversation?
It's about an hour. Hour and a half. Yeah, I've listened to the whole thing. It's insane. He's just desperate and just like making excuses and just will not listen. Like when I was listening to it at first, he talks for 20 minutes straight without anybody interjecting or saying anything. He's just going on and on and on and ranting. I'm like, how does someone have a phone call And he's not even like if I'm talking on the phone with somebody, let's say, and I don't hear anything after a while, I'm just like, "Are you there?" Like, there's no confirmation. It's just dead silence on the other end. I'm like, I'll look at my phone and be like, "Yo, is someone still on the line?" Okay, he's going on for 20 minutes about that shit.
Let me give you a nerd term. He went full UDP for this conversation. I don't know if you're a computer nerd. Like UDP is when you just send data out and you don't care what comes back, and you're just like, fuck it, it's out there. TCP is like when you have a conversation, like it was back and forth, like there's a three-way handshake. But yeah, he was full UDP.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna ah.
Yeah. So he lost the main election and everything, and at the time in Georgia, due to like Jim Crow laws and everything, where you have to win 50% of the majority of the vote or else there is a runoff or whatever. And because of everyone that was running, he had multiple candidates and all kinds of stuff. Nobody won 50% of the total vote for the Senate in Georgia, so they had a runoff election which took place yesterday. This would be for Dirty Stew. Would determine who has the majority in the Senate. Now, if the Democrats won both seats, then it would become the same number of Republicans and Democrats in the Senate. However, the vice president is the tie-breaking vote in the Senate, which would be the Democrat Kamala Harris and everything. So the Senate would lose their majority. I'm sorry, the Republicans would lose their majority. In the regular election, both Republicans won over the Democrats by a good margin. It really wasn't close, but it wasn't at that 50% that prevented a runoff. Well, they had the revote or the runoff election yesterday, and both of them lost and everything. This is after Trump was belly aching and saying that voting was rigged in the state of Georgia. You can't trust the election, blah, blah, blah. And the Republicans who created this Frankenstein monster now needed him because they're gluttonous and they're like, we need these votes bad, so we need Trump. We need Trump. Come down here and help us out. So they invite him on the stage, and he's on stage just talking about how he lost, not doing anything to pump up these candidates or anything or to help secure votes for them, but he's just going on this thing about how the election was stolen and rigged. Vote takes place yesterday. Warnock ends up winning, which he becomes the first black Senate member for the state of Georgia in the entire history of the fucking state.
Which is a black ass state. Just to put that out there and make sure it's very clear. And everybody knows I went to Clark Atlanta and HBCU. I lived in Atlanta for quite a few years. It's a black ass state. It just is.
Yeah, Georgia is. We've joked on it. I know I've joked on it plenty of times before about how the election would only come down to certain states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, blah blah blah. I would have never thought Georgia would have flipped from red to blue. That totally caught me by surprise. But shout out to Stacey Abrams. We'll get to her probably later. But
10-year plan.
Like if even for say some magical reason Trump was able to get some votes out of Georgia to make it turn back into a red state, he still would have lost, right?
Yeah, wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, wouldn't matter. No.
It would have been. It would have tried to maybe domino the effect. He would at least have some ammo to try to be like, well, there was cheating here, so we need to investigate other shit. But they just that shit got shut down.
That's the one thing I kept overnight. Like, dude, you fucking lost. Like, even to get 2 more points, you still fucking lost.
So overnight, Warnock won. That was pretty much a runaway. He beat Leffler or whatever. Yeah. She's the one of the owners of like the WNBA team. And then it was shaping up that Purdue was going to lose and Oshnoff was going to win. So they were both the Republicans were about to get booted or whatever. So this was happening throughout the middle of the night and everything. They were calculating mail-in votes, all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I went to sleep, and I knew that today, based on these other Republicans, the guy from Missouri, Hawley or whatever.
Yeah, fuck that
Ted
guy.
Cruz saying that they're going to put together, like Chrono said, this commission to investigate the fraud, blah, 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 and they're going to object to the Senate ruling. And even before that, there was issues going out with Trump about what Pence was going to do. Pence is just there as a ceremonial role. I described it to my wife. It's like if the person who officiated the officiant of my wedding or whatever, the paperwork was already signed and everything, the state recognized it, but at the wedding, the person who did my wedding was just like, nah, I'm not marrying you guys. Okay, well, whatever. It doesn't matter what you say. Because the paperwork's been signed or whatever, we're married. I mean, this is just a ceremony, and you can either do it or not do it, or whatever. His job is to count the votes. There was a time that people are trying to cite in American history when there was an objection to it. That was under a completely different circumstance where there were electors from both that Republican and that Democrat candidate that were there to cast votes. So there was a debate on it. At this, what just happened today, there were no Trump electors there to cast their electoral votes because these states had already individually decided what they were going to do in a court of in their own government. The federal government is supposed to stay the fuck out of state issues unless there's certain circumstances or whatever, and especially elections. Elections are run by each individual states, and these states, when there were issues brought up, or when Trump's lawyers were hopping around playing hopscotch from state to state trying to reject shit, it was shut down by those states' individual Supreme Courts.
Well, hold on.
Trump tried to bring it to
let's just real quick. I want to be very clear when we talk about this. They were investigated. These claims were investigated. They were not ignored.
Mm-hmm.
They were investigated. All of them were investigated.
Yes.
So go ahead, because I don't want people to think that they just dismissed them. They dismissed a lot of them after an investigation.
Yep.
Yeah, all investigated, even in court. I remember maybe it was in Pennsylvania, one of them. There's transcripts of it, and Rudy Giuliani's there. They're like, "What evidence do you have?" And he's like, and the judge is like, "So you have no evidence?" He's like, "Why are we even here? Why are we doing this? There's no evidence."
I got the
all that shit was all of it was dismissed. He tried to bring it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was like, "Yo, we don't fuck with that shit because this is a state issue." You go ahead, Prodigy?
Yeah, just let me add one quick thing though. Even the former Attorney General Barr, right? I have this title right. Super loyal Trump guy. He did all the controversial stuff that we talked about earlier earlier in 2020 with being for the gassing of peaceful protests, which we'll certainly talk about in a minute. He said, pretty much verbatim, there was no widespread fraud in this election. It was a free and fair election, and nothing that would change the outcome and all of that. And he did resign. But go ahead.
Well, this real quick. This is like a problem that Trump and his entire family has, is that they don't actually understand the way the government works. All right, and so I give AOC a lot of shit for when she was first elected to be on the House of Representatives, as like not knowing that much about government. But she has done her research since then. Like she's actually read about. I know she knows now the three branches of government. She didn't before, but at least she does now. But these motherfuckers that are with Trump, I'm gonna drop his presidential title because right now, to me, he's a traitor to America. So he's no longer a president to me. All right, I gave this guy plenty of chances. He's a fucking traitor, and he's leading treasonous shit against America. Anyway, I don't understand. Like, they don't understand like that states have certain rights that are separate from the federal government, and it shows when we had the COVID-19 thing first happen. They were talking about getting masks and PPE and all that stuff. When you had, I think it was Jared Kushner, he said that the PPE for the federal government is not for the states. Motherfucker, who is it for? Who is it for? If it's not for the states. It's the United States of America, not the United Federal Government of America. The PPE that you're supposed to have in a stockpile is for the fucking people. Like, you might think that you and your buddies are like the federal whatever, but you're not a separate entity from the rest of the United States. You are made up of the people of the United States. So when you talk about not having PPE for the states, you're talking about not having PPE for the people. Like, it just shows everything they're doing now, and like talking about stealing and there were irregularities and not understanding how the basic election processes work in other states.
Why didn't they stop counting?
Yeah,
at midnight.
It's because certain states have different rules. It's the same reason why we have the fucking Electoral College, which people seem to understand before this, but not now. It's because states have different needs than other states, and so to have somebody in, say, rural Iowa to demand for them to come to a polling location that could be fucking far away from them, that's unreasonable. And now that he's getting mad that they have different rules about this, it's to better serve their people in their states, and he doesn't get that because he doesn't really see Americans as people. You know what I mean? He doesn't.
Can I be real? Can I be real clear? This is primarily about being angry that black political folks voted in a free and fair election. That's what the biggest problem, and he's voiced it multiple times before. He has. Yeah. It's a problem with Atlanta. It's a problem with Milwaukee. It's a problem with Detroit. It's a problem with Philly. It's a problem with black voters exercising their constitutional right to vote in a free and fair election.
So a lot of them waited hours to be able to vote.
Go ahead.
So yesterday, while Trump is doing his election spiel for Loeffler and Purdue or whatever, he says this thing about, I trust that Pence will do the right thing tomorrow, and blah, 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 leaving it ambiguous about what the right thing is to do, but everyone knows he's supposed to preside and watch over this vote counting ceremony or whatever, but it's in the atmosphere that supposedly Pence has some sort of magical power to deny or vote down or say, no, you go back to your states and go recount because we don't accept it or whatever. But Trump says this statement or whatever yesterday about he'll do the right thing or I'll be mad at him and everything. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Everyone with some common sense is like, yo, what the fuck does that mean? And
you gotta take it ball and go home.
Oh, hold on.
Everyone is just like, there were reports that there was like, they were seen at the White House like having a heated argument, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, this is going to be good.
Hold on, real quick, because this is sort of breaking, but 4 people have now died.
Yeah, well, 3. I saw that one shot, and then there was some medical stuff on the other 3.
Holy shit!
Was it a bill? Capitol Hill.
So
blood on their hands. I'll just say that. Go ahead.
So essentially, we go fast forward to today, and I didn't see the beginning part of it or whatever. I heard something that I guess Trump gave some sort of did he give a speech today while they were counting it?
Yeah, it was early. That's what I was saying. This is what happened earlier today. Is that he had a rally during it was before the time when they were going to do the actual electoral college counting. It was like a few hours earlier, and in that rally, he was talking about how his constituents need to walk down to the Capitol building and do the right thing, and show your strength. And so this is just a rallying. That's literally what he said. This is a rallying cry to these crazy motherfuckers, to these terrorists, and I will call them terrorists because that's what the fuck they are. They are terrorists.
He told him to stand by. Told him to stand by.
And I don't understand. People want to argue like the fact that why do you call them terrorists? It's that's a pretty harsh word. No, all right. This is how it's defined by the FBI: the unlawful use of force and violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof, in furtherance of a political or social objectives. That is literally what they did. That's what they did today.
Check.
Like that.
So when I wake up, I'm seeing like a couple of videos on Twitter or whatever about like showing the Proud Boy group, because they were out there last night doing some minor stuff or whatever. Pushing.
Well, didn't the leader of the Proud Boys, wasn't he like arrested or detained for some reason yesterday?
Yeah,
let's be clear on that some reason, because I like specificity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let me see what it was. Do you know what it was?
Yeah, I do. So a historically black church in D.C. Was vandalized by that group. And so that was at least one of the charges that I saw reported that he was actually formally charged on. It should have happened a while ago, but
And he was also arrested for weapon charges involving high capacity magazines as well. Yeah. I don't know if that was just a charge, or him having the weapon and the high capacity magazines as well.
There were a lot of charges. And let me say this real quickly. Rightly fucking so. Like, you know, look, I don't have any sympathy. I don't have any fucking tears shed for any of this fucking bullshit. This is some pro-Nazi, pro-fascist bullshit. And a lot of it is just racist assholes being fucking violent against innocent people.
Yeah, and it's not, and that is when people are like, "Oh, well, how do you know they're, you know, fascists or Nazis or blah?" I literally watched as I was watching CNN today. I watched somebody do the live on CNN do the Nazi salute into the fucking camera, didn't do the white power thing, and then some other symbol. I don't fucking know what the fuck it was, but I knew what the first two was, so I assumed the third was some other racist bullshit, some other white.
Okay, sign.
No, that was white power one, which he did. We have allowed the cancer of white supremacy to just metastasize here in America. And it has gone not only unchecked, it's been fed through the President of the United States of America. And that's not, that should not be controversial to say because he's done it. He's done it countless times and it needs to be called out and it needs to be stopped at this point in time. Okay, it's gone on far too long. And we saw the consequences today. Like, look at how many Confederate flags were in the Capitol building today. Look how many. Look how many.
Yeah, we didn't even get to that part. We were just getting to the main event of the fucking ape shitness.
What? Yeah, I know we're getting there, but I just want to give one more quick thing. I know we're all stepping on each other, but it's okay. This is a great conversation. Also, because I'm against racist bullshit, whether it's against black folks, Latino folks, or Jewish folks, the gay community. These folks at the previous Proud Boy rally also were wearing stuff. I didn't even know about this. Shirts saying, I don't even want to repeat it on air, but basically dismissing the Holocaust. I don't want to give credit to even.
One. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! You're just evil Nazi racist pieces of shit.
Yeah, and
all the way around.
The sun needs feeding.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, you know, we talk about recently, through the past year, we've talked a lot about, you know, racial issues and especially a lot of like, you know, Afrocentric issues. But when it comes to like denying the Holocaust, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, are you serious? You're just gonna deny that millions of folks just died? Oh, I'm sorry, they were murdered. They were murdered by people in Europe, and you're just gonna deny that these are human beings, and some of them survivors are still alive to this day. Like very few of them, but
to be clear, according to these shirts, they wanted more added to that list. Those were 6 million. So again, I don't want to give credit to exactly what it was, because I don't even want people looking up the hashtag.
Yeah,
but they wanted more, and that's just how fucked up they are.
It's an acronym, so if you look it up, you can see what it is. But I'm not going to say what it is because I don't remember the order. But still, it's just fucked up to me because these people are promoting to their children that the Holocaust was a lie, but it was made up, and none of that happened. And I'm like, well, you got to tell that to the people that like Kroner said. The ones that are probably in their 80s and 90s that still have tattoos that were forced upon them when they were incarcerated. Well, not even incarcerated. They were
in death camps.
Basically kidnapped from their homes, death camps, concentration camps. These people endured, you know, some horrifics that some of us will never see.
Well, we might. I mean, you already saw what the current president already talked about bringing back the gas chamber. For for people. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? And he has accelerated the amount of people that are being killed that are on death row in his last days. He needs to be. Well, we'll get into it. It's going to culminate into basically this motherfucker needs to be removed. So
yep. So don't forget when you say so. Anybody confusing my words, I am purposely using the word Nazi.
Yeah,
you were a Holocaust denier and pro Holocaust shit. And the Nazi flag, along with other shit, you are a Nazi. Sorry.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I was gonna
This
say,
shit's
so
fucking
as this progressed and everything, and we were all watching this. I know me and Kronos were pretty much watching this all play out, like
Yeah.
damn near live, because I woke up and once I saw the mob going out on outside, my spider sense is like, this is about to pop off or whatever.
Mhm.
This is going to pop off, and this is going to be highly fucking bad because you just see the flag waving and the mobs, and I I'm an average math student, but I can see several thousands and hundreds of people on one side, and what looks to be 12 to 15 fucking officers, and I don't know because when we talked about it, DC is unique in terms of like who has jurisdiction over what or whatever, because you have DC proper in terms of its city, you have the Capitol Police, and then because technically the vice president is in there, the Secret Service should be involved. And I was seeing stuff like FBI and all kinds of stuff like that. But regardless, if there's a crowd of possibly unruly people, and it's not like we haven't seen this happen before, especially in Michigan and in other states, when they were just like, yo, fuck this government, we're going to do what we want to do.
In DC a few weeks ago. What? Come on now.
Yeah. And I'm just like, they are out. I'm like, they couldn't stop anything if they wanted to right now. I'm like, this is fucking bad. And I'm just watching them push and push and push, and then they're just occupying the steps and just chilling up there, waving flags, climbing on top of the scaffolding and shit. I'm like, this is highly not good. And I'm doing stuff around the house, and I hear them say about, and I didn't see the moment when they shut it down because I was listening to it while I was like doing stuff around the house, and they were talking about like they're inside, and I was like, yo, they can't be inside. Like this is, I always make jokes about like what's like a star level rating in terms of like Grand Theft Auto.
It's a fucking it's a 6-star, not even a 5-star. It's a 6-star.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. That's higher than 6. Like there's always 5. And I've been working when people have broken into a police department. I was like, that's a 4.5. That's an easy 5 or whatever. I've been working where someone has actually stolen a police car. That's a 5 in real life. In the video game, it's like a 3.5, but in real life, it's a 5. And then there was something that happened earlier. I was like, yo, that's a heavy 5. That's a heavy 6 or whatever. It was something about like a military base or something where it's like you can't even step foot on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Without
Still
some problems happening. It'll pop in my head on what it was, but it was something recent-ish where I'm just like, yo, you can't be doing that shit. And then this happened. Oh, no, it's a Kenosha thing where you're just walking up to military people with armed fucking weapons and shit. I was like, yo, that's a 6. You can't do that. You can't touch it. But yeah, to break grounds, and technically it's burglary because you're entering a locked dwelling without permission to enter with the second most important
it's actually
in the United States.
It's actually higher than that because they're walking into a building that is full of intelligence. They should have they should have been shot on sight.
That's what I was just like, I was leveling it up or whatever. Yeah. On the base level, it's trespassing.
So 1 star.
You are breaking into the building, into a locked building. So
2 stars.
You have burglary right there. It's the fucking. It's not the White House, but it's fucking the Capitol or whatever. That's like another 2-star rating with the vice president inside doing his business or whatever.
So
with
4-star rating.
That puts. No, already. That's a national security threat. Like,
it really is.
Had this been another country, or just like 6 dudes from Jamaica, or just make up whatever country you want to.
Yeah,
that would have been an event.
Just real quick. Let me just explain it from a Marine's point of view. All right, I wasn't stationed at an embassy, but I was at an embassy for a while. And it was for an op. All right, and while I was at the embassy, even though I wasn't part of the embassy guard, I was a part of like obviously securing it, you know, because I was a Marine, and there was a time, it was like back in like 2002, where there was like some thing going on with like a bunch of dignitaries, but Iran was going to be there, and so we had to literally like change around like our whole thing on the embassy. And I was armed anyway, but you know, they made sure to give us, you know, extra anything that we needed just in case some shit popped off. All right.
Yep.
And if somebody was to come on site, we were told just fucking shoot them on site.
Yep.
And I don't understand how that people can storm the Capitol building and not be harmed really at all. I mean, I understand that a woman got shot. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, those are the consequences for storming a place like that. Like it's unfortunate, but I'm surprised that not more people were shot. Actually, I shouldn't be not surprised, but they should have used way more force than what they showed. They lacked, you know, resources, but what I saw when I turned on, you know, the news to watch this shit, I didn't see a single police officer have their firearm out. Not a single fucking one had their firearm out. Not one. And they're charged with protecting the people in Congress. They're supposed to protect them, and there's an armed mob of terrorists storming the building, and not a single firearm was pulled out of their holsters. How the fuck does this happen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unreal. And then you saw the photos, and it's weird because it's like there are certain things that, like, if you think about like the entire history of the nation or whatever, and you're only on this earth for whatever, if you're a black person maybe 50 years, or if you're a white person maybe 80 or whatever, and you realize there's a good chance you're going to miss a lot of historical shit that happened in terms of this stuff. We have never seen a presidential assassination in our lifetime, and I hope we never do or whatever. But for us to see something that hasn't happened since 1812, where people, not a country, not some sort of elite fucking fighting force, these are just some dudes in some 5'11" gear able to storm a fucking Senate Capitol building, get inside, and just fucking do whatever the fuck they want. Just put their feet on desks, wave Confederate flags. I would have unbelievable.
Let me just say this too. Let me just say this too. The audacity, the fucking balls on these motherfuckers. They're not wearing masks. And I don't mean just old COVID time. I mean in terms of they didn't give a fuck about their identity and whatnot. They did this like they had full immunity, like nobody was going to give a fuck. Nobody was going to even yell at them. They're stealing, you know, property. They're taking selfies on desks and in offices. This was a national security, not only threat, but emergency that did not get handled in any kind of way proper. And if I've never been to DC, but I tell you what, I would have thought just from the stupid ass Hollywood movies that this would have gone down the exact polar opposite way from a security standpoint, and these motherfuckers would have been dealt with just like Kronos was saying with live rounds. But no.
I've seen Gerard Butler handle shit go down and Olympus Has Fallen and shit. And Gerard Butler had a fucking plan and could handle shit. Jamie Foxx and all that stuff. And I remember losing my mind back in May or June because I saw something I didn't think I would ever see in my lifetime that was seen in the 60s in terms of like the government gassing its citizens and shit like that when Trump wanted to take a fucking photo in front of a church holding a Bible upside down. He fucking had a fucking mob of armed Ninja Turtle looking officers fucking move the crowd that instant just because I'm gonna take over this church or whatever. But they couldn't fucking prevent they couldn't prevent the United States Capitol building from being taken over because they just didn't think that this might be a problem, that there's hundreds of people outside pissed off.
$700+ billion a year on national defense, and you can't stop Billy Bob and his fucking homeboys from going in there and riding rough.
No, I mean,
I like the meme that came out saying that Walmart has more protection on black hair products than the U.S. government has for the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Y'all know me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't wear a tinfoil hat. But what happened today it was more than just the terrorists that stormed the building. All right.
Yep.
The lack of enhanced security on a day when we knew that there was going to be a legit threat to the members of Congress needs to be investigated, and everybody involved needs to be in handcuffs. The fact that it took over 2 hours for the National Guard to be called up needs to be investigated, and folks need to be arrested. The fact that the President of the United States of America did not call the National Guard, it was Mike Pence, the Vice President, had to call them up, speaks to treason against our, against not president, against Donald Trump. He's not a fucking president anymore. He's a traitor. They need to enact the 25th Amendment and remove this man from the office. I understand that it's only 14 days, but it's not. That's too long.
Doesn't matter.
Like we're seeing the consequences. He keeps inciting. Twitter had to literally lock his account down. Finally, finally. All right.
But he also deleted his video of him talking about the whole.
It was more than that.
Basically, the thing he did this morning.
Yeah, he deleted more than that. Well, Twitter deleted more than just that tweet. It was a tweet. It was a tweet of the video of him after being called out by Joe Biden. Joe Biden just mind ninja'd him, and like a couple of minutes later, he put out a video tweet. He didn't go to the news. He just put out a tweet, which is like, come on, man, are you serious?
Yep.
This is way more important than a fucking tweet about how no violence. But this is I'm sorry. He started with this is a fraud election, and we all know they stole it. But please, no violence. But you're inciting the violence by what you just said, by saying that they stole this from you, and this is what you deserve. And so they deleted that, and then he put out another tweet. I forget what the other one said, but it was some other fucking just straight up bullshit. But basically saying it was a fraud election.
He said this is what happens when you have a fraud election or whatever.
Yeah, they should have banned him from Twitter a long time ago. They kept flagging and flagging and flagging. Twitter's probably flagged 300 tweets of him by now. That's conservative. At least 300 tweets
in a week.
that they flagged from him about the fraudulent election. And I was like, why don't you just ban? I even tweeted to fucking Jack and Twitter. Why aren't you banning this guy from continuously going against your terms of service? Because we all signed the terms of service. He is not above the fucking law or above the terms of service by any corporation. All right, because when we talk about the First Amendment, it does not apply to a private company. It does not. I can't walk into my boss's office and be like, and tell him, "Fuck you. I don't like the way you look because you're whatever," and then expect to still be employed. I can't sit there and say, "Oh, my First Amendment rights." You can't.
So I have his tweet that got deleted. This tweet says, "These are the things and events that happen when sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home and love in peace. Remember this day forever." This tweet got deleted.
Yeah, they're not patriots, they're terrorists. I talked about it, I think, years ago, about toxic patriotism, and you're seeing the culmination of it right now, because these people you are not patriots. You're fucking terrorists. To lump you in the same group of people as me, fuck you.
And I will say this too. Sorry. All of the entire protocol, because I know they do drills, goddammit, in DC. that whole thing needs to be examined from top to fucking bottom, from a security threat standpoint and national security standpoint. This, and Kronos alluded to it, and so did fucking Stitch. This was an absolute failure of security from top to bottom for hours. Go ahead.
As I was watching it, I'm like, this is even beforehand. I mean, just a hilarious point I was thinking about. I was like, in California, if you commit domestic violence against your significant other with a weapon, the state will come in and they will confiscate your weapons for a period of time until you're found not guilty. This guy, as far as I'm concerned, committed a treasonous act of secession against the United States government and still has access to the nuclear weapons and the nuclear codes. Yeah, and we're just like, oh, we'll just wait 14 days or whatever. We'll just wait it out, and he'll be gone in 14 days. Like, we just didn't see something we've never seen in the entire history of our country fucking happen.
Real quick too. I'm sorry, real quick. just to point out too, and there's some people that may want to debate this and all that as well. If he's fucking removed like he should be, I was in favor of him being removed a year ago, but we're not going to go there right now. He cannot ever run for election in 2024 or any of that other bullshit for
Yeah.
him personally.
Forever.
So this is I actually had a conversation with K-Mac earlier. So previously, up until today, I was thinking, listen, if President Biden, he's going to become president, but don't prosecute President. If he doesn't get prosecuted, probably strongly consider pardoning President Trump, just to stop potential violence from happening in America. But now it's already happened. All right, we already bursted that dam, so he needs to be arrested. He needs to be arrested immediately and thrown in jail immediately. I don't give a fuck about the consequences at this point because we're already seeing the consequences now. It's already fucking too late. My worst fears about what was going to happen if he was arrested are happening right now. So fuck it. Arrest him now for treason. It needs to happen. And I don't understand why there's literally no argument against it. None.
Exactly.
The whole logistic thing was a complete nightmare because to go back to like why weren't there more officers there? It's like I was texting I actually have a good friend that I grew up with. He's one of the Capital City Police Department members or whatever. So I haven't talked to him obviously because they have a lot of shit going on right now. But I was talking with one of my other friends, Dalton, and we were just like, "Yo, this is a fucking nightmare or whatever," because they're already understaffed. And when Megan was like, "Yo, just get them out," and like normally when you want someone out of a place, you are in between and protecting what it is. You normally have what it is that you're protecting to your back or whatever. If you're trying to bust these officers in there, they have to get through this mob and then turn around and then protect whatever the fuck it is. So logistically, it was a fucking nightmare because they weren't prepared from the jump.
No, I mean,
so I was like,
no. All right, so this might make
they
you mad.
should have been prepared.
Yeah, this might make you mad, and I sort of apologize. This is a half-hearted apology to you, man. The police in this situation were part of the problem. They were part of the problem, and it's fucking.
I agree. Yeah.
It's documented. We have motherfuckers taking selfies with these fucking terrorists. Police officers taking selfies with these fucking terrorists, and there's a video that you can look up right now of the police officers that were at the Capitol building that opened up the barricades for these fucking terrorists. They're literally part of the same white supremacist bullshit problem that is permeated American society. We keep letting this shit happen with these soft ass responses to fucking white people, being terrorists in America. And I don't like saying it, but it's the fucking truth. These people, only because of the color of their skin, they weren't shot. If there were a bunch of brown people that stormed that fucking building, there'd have been chaos. People would have been shot in fucking mass. And we already saw it with the Black Lives Matter fucking protest. When there were protests, they weren't storming any fucking building. They got shot in the face by fucking rubber bullets. They got gassed. They got violently arrested. I didn't see any of that shit today. The last count that I saw is that 16 people were arrested. 16 fucking people were arrested amongst thousands of fucking terrorists that stormed that building. 16! Are you fucking serious?
Can I add one more quick thing?
I agree completely. I was like, this is a failure from leadership from whoever the fuck is supposed to be in charge, and they need to have cameras in their faces, and they need to be answering questions about why they weren't ready and what the fuck were they doing when this shit was boiling over.
All facts. Let me just throw one more reported fact. There's a lot of details that are being confirmed. So the who, what, wheres, and whens, we'll see. This is all breaking and whatnot. It was reported today that at least one, I thought maybe even multiple, explosive devices were found in the area as well. So when we use, just to be really clear, Kronos gave the textbook definition of terrorism. Bombs or explosive devices being found on the Capitol grounds is as clear fucking cutthroat of terrorism as you could fucking get. I mean, like, literally, and some of these guys were armed as well, and they're breaking and entering and all that stuff. But literally, they had to go from room to room and sweep them because explosive devices I don't know the exact number, but plural, were found.
Questions need to be answered, and nobody's answering these questions or whatever. We had a person that was shot and killed. I don't know by who.
4 people now.
Nobody knows by
4
who.
4 people died.
Well, yeah, 4 people died. I know one was shot and killed.
Yeah.
On the grounds of the fucking Capitol, inside the fucking Capitol building, and we don't know. I don't know who shot. Was it an officer that shot? What happened? And this is all getting just like overlooked, and I'm not hearing any questions, any answers. People like, I mean, obviously there's a shit ton of stuff the media has a bunch of questions about and everything that would happen today, but I need answers on this. Like, why weren't we prepared for this? Why this was a national security threat that happened, and we were taken over by a protest or whatever.
Well, it's not a protest. That's not a protest.
Domestic.
Yeah.
What started off? It was an initial protest that they became insurgents and invaded a United States government Capitol building, and nobody has had the balls to stand in front of a camera and to accept responsibility for this happening or anything about that. They've just kind of been hiding.
Could have taken hostages. Could have taken hostages. Could have taken hostages. And this was sorry, I have to use this one word too. This was an attempted fucking coup. We've danced around that word all year long, haven't we? On this show, we've touched upon it. We said potential. We talked about some Civil War stuff, but we've danced around that word coup d'état. And this was an attempt. It's been telegraphed loudly for months and months and months. You're in the Capitol building, you know, as terrorists, doing whatever the fuck you want, stealing stuff, going into places that are supposed to be secure, in an attempt to take over the fucking government.
Well,
how is that not a coup?
They kind of kept talking about it in the news. They talk about how like the Capitol building have all these passages, these like underground tunnels to help like get people out of the building, but like those motherfuckers were trapped in that goddamn building. Like, in some of the video footage I saw, like some of these representatives was like ducking down and like they didn't know what the fuck was going on, and like, you know, there was one scene. I don't know if the door was barricaded. It looked like they barricaded the door, and like that's when some of the shots were fired. When they have like I guess I don't even know what their job roles were. Were they Secret Service or were they like security or something? But like they literally shot through the window and stuff like that. So like that just shows how unsecure this building is basically.
So I want to
go ahead.
I want to put how I came into this situation, because I wasn't feeling too well last night, so I didn't sleep very well. So I woke up really late.
Bro, you got the Rona, or you all right?
No.
He got syphilis, man. He got syphilis. It's all right.
I'd be dead if I had. No, I had an allergic reaction, so I couldn't sleep very well. And then when I woke up, it was basically a bunch of just chaotic messages or whatnot. So the information coming to me was super varied. There was information from the squad. There's information from other groups that I'm in, information from friends. I actually have a friend who lives in DC. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So I'm trying to go through this about what's going on. And what I see was kind of jumbled. I see, from what my perspective was, I first see these people scaling a wall. They literally took the barricades and used them as ramps to get over the wall. And then I see...
How did that happen? I don't understand. I thought walls worked.
There we go.
I thought they worked. They were high walls. They were well constructed. How did they get over them?
And then I see a video of one officer at like a double doors, and there's someone filming behind him. He has his baton on the floor, which is behind him, which somehow, I guess, got away from him. It's not showing, but he's arguing with people at the door. They're saying, this is our America, we're taking it back. They have, like, Confederate flags on them, and it's one guy, one officer.
One dude.
And, it's one guy against literally a mob, because as the film goes on, the person that's filming is on the steps, like a good 10, 15 feet away. And the guy's like, he's trying to stop them, but yet he wants to be saved. And then the mob keeps coming in. More people start pouring in. This guy turns around, is running up the stairs. The person that's filming is filming him behind him running up the stairs. He kind of turns around and faces the mob again. You need to stop. You need to stop. They're all, no, we're coming to take this back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. More people are coming in, flooding in the stairway. This guy's running back up, and then they run into a room where he finds maybe 6 or 7 officers, and they stand in a row. They have their hands on the weapon, but no weapon is drawn. And there's this huge mob that feels like it's not even a lobby. It's like this huge open room. And then the video kind of ends right there. So I'm seeing this. I see another person who's probably a White House staffer. There's a door that's locked, right? It's locked. And there's a sign that says, I'm assuming it says do not enter, but it's one single sign. There's nobody at the store. The door's just locked. There's like a, like what you see at the movie theaters. I can't think of the name. It's like the little rope thing. There's a sign, and there's people literally banging out the quarter panel at the window, people smashing on it, trying to break it. They're pushing the door open. The door's about to give way, and this person's on the second floor, literally like, they're kind of juking, like they know the door's going to give way, and they're getting ready to run, but they want to film these people trying to break in. Then the video ends. And then I hear stuff about bombs. There could be bombs on the ground. I guess the senator reported that she saw a bomb. I didn't see pictures of it. I didn't see any other reports or whatnot. And then I hear that there are multiple bombs, that there's a van around the corner that had bombs, as well as weapons, like automatic weapons that are filled. And then I'm seeing memes starting to come in, and then in between I'm starting to see these things like people are asking, their favorite senators, like Stitch's AOC, asking her if she's okay. She says, hey, I made it out, but we're being told different things to do. So they're being told to put their hands up and lay flat on the ground as these people are trying to break in. And they're not being instructed to leave, and then I see them like file 2 by 2 to leave out, and there's other like weird instructions that I'm seeing them being told on Twitter. I'm seeing just people blaming Antifa, like Trump supporters. They're saying this is Antifa. These are not Trump supporters. Look at this tattoo on this one particular guy's hand. I'm like, you can barely make that out. It looks like a raven. I don't even know, but they're saying this is not a Trump supporter. This is not MAGA. This is Antifa.
Let me put a fucking definitive end to this shit right now. If you think that's Antifa, it's like you trying to tell me, or like I'm trying to tell you that the Black Panthers infiltrated the KKK, and I also have snake oil for you to buy. Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious that you think that the actual Antifa, the group that is against fascism, that is what's happening with Donald Trump, is going to join these MAGA motherfuckers and storm the building? They're going to infiltrate them and storm the building to do the exact opposite of their actual creed. I'm not an Antifa guy, but it's literally fucking impossible for that to happen. Either that or the MAGA folks are even dumber than I thought. I already understand that most of them right now that are still fighting for this, they have very low IQs. And I have no problem with saying that right now. But this is incredibly stupid. We had Matt Gaetz talk about how facial recognition has said that they are all Antifa. No, the fuck they're not. That's not how fucking facial recognition works. It takes time. It takes a fucking person to actually look it up too, to verify. Not in goddamn 6 hours. You fucking idiot. Yeah. Like it was not.
It came out last year and said Antifa is just an ideology or something like that.
Well, so, no, even beyond that, literally people that were storming it, it was full of fucking MAGA flags, MAGA hats, Confederacy flags, all Trump flags, all this other shit. Get the fuck out of here.
When people tell you who they are, believe them. They literally, none of them were hiding exactly who they are and who they were, and what they were there for and what they were represented. There are literally people, terrorists, with T-shirts and hoodies saying January 6, 2021, blah, 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 taking back the Civil War, taking back the blah, 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 MAGA. Like, they almost, not every single one, but the vast majority of them have paraphernalia telling you who they are and what they're about. Believe them.
Yeah, so speaking about the paraphernalia, I guess what I saw is people are under the belief that is Antifa because there's some flyer that someone took a picture of that date back to November 6th telling Antifa members to dress like MAGA and to do all this stuff.
I'm not,
like,
we don't even need to
We
put that
don't even
bullshit out
Yeah,
there.
I'm just- that's what
we
I'm
don't
saying.
even need to
This-
address this dumb shit. This is just wasting.
I'm
minutes
just saying
on
this is what I'm
podcast
saying.
talking
This is
about
what
dumb
I'm
shit.
seeing about this. And then what I also see is just like certain people defending it. So they're saying this was a protest. I'm like, this isn't a protest. They're breaking and entering. I'm like, how is this a protest? And they're like, well, they were protesting, the steel. I'm like, okay, what steel are they talking about?
Hold on. This is where let's call it what it is. This is where some white folks get very uncomfortable calling other white folks terrorists. I don't know how to help you with that, but when you do terrorist actions, just anybody else, you will be called a terrorist. When you're doing a seditious, traitorous, criminal act, federal crime, then you need to be called out for that. It's really, really fucking simple in this case. There's no excusing it. There's no fucking hiding from it. There's no fucking gotcha excuse bullshit.
Yeah.
This is cut and dry.
Hold on.
It should be.
Let me make
but
it easy.
apparently it's not.
Let me make it easy for you. John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo, the DC snipers, the black people.
Oh yeah.
They were fucking terrorists. They were
yeah.
snipers and pieces of shit. White people, take note. You can do the same fucking thing. I don't want nobody out there. I don't care if they look like me. I don't. If you're doing some vile shit, you're doing some vile shit. Stop letting them drag you down. Call them the fuck out and stop this.
Yeah, and then I'm seeing pictures as the day goes on of people inside the, inside the Senate with their feet up on the desk. Some guy who stole Flavor Flav's Viking hat, with his face like painted, he's up here taking like a podium, literally walking out the front door, posing for pictures on his way out with the podium. Another guy is in Nancy Pelosi's desk taking her mail. So her mail could have particular intelligence in it, or her mail could have White House correspondence in it. This guy walks out, picks it up, walks out, is outside the building posing for selfies with Nancy Pelosi's mail. And I'm just like,
the same guy that left a note behind that it's not over and they're gonna come back.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand the lack of preparation for this entire thing. And then even when stuff is going down, the whole, if it does turn out that it was fucking Pence that called the National Guard because Trump refused to for some crazy shit. I mean, I've said months ago he's got to go or whatever. Like he's got to go. I mean, we didn't even have a podcast in between the time with him talking about changing votes and then this. But I was gonna be like he's got to go then, and
straight to the sun.
On top of that, this is just like it's so fucking unreal that he just doesn't fucking care or whatever, and people are just like fine with that. And they don't see the danger, and they still are just making excuses, bending over backwards, thinking that like, oh, he'll change. Oh, it's not that bad, and blah blah blah. Oh, it's only 14 days left. Blah blah blah. Because when this whole thing was going on about the phone call, they were like, well, this is a reason where he should be impeached. And a lot of people were like, well, it's only 14 days. Blah 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 blah.
What's the worst that could happen?
It's not. Yeah,
Wow.
24 hours. Yeah, put up the SpongeBob meme later or whatever.
Yeah.
We got fucking
2 hours later.
Yeah, later today. It's unfucking believable that he just allowed this to happen. And I mean, like I said before, I'll call it when I see it or whatever. This is horrible law enforcement security, and I don't know who's in charge. Who ultimately is the one that's supposed to have the protection of that building, whether it's the Capitol Police, Secret Service, or DC as a city or whatever. It was a failure on all of them.
It's funny how you mentioned the whole Mike Pence thing, because earlier we talked about how like Donald Trump had tweeted out like, Mike Pence, make sure you do the right thing, and then like the shit didn't happen, and Trump tweeted out like, oh, Mike Pence, you're a bitch. Like, how come you didn't step up to the game? And then apparently, like, I think Stitch put this in the chat room where I guess Mike Pence stopped following Trump on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
that's
Yeah,
a
I saw
sick.
something about that.
That's a sick burn you got there, Pence. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Is this what we're at with elected government officials instead of like calling them out publicly or doing something to get them removed from fucking office? I'm gonna hit the unfollow button or whatever. Is that the
No, I mean,
pussification?
let's
When it comes to
It's
Trump,
I'm
yes.
going home. I'm
Yeah.
taking my fucking my
No,
basketball. I'm
hold-
going home. Type
hold on. Well,
behavior.
let's give Mike Pence some actual credit here. He has been more presidential today than Donald Trump. He actually came out
Of
and
course.
condemned
That's
violence.
a low bar.
I understand, but he actually condemned the violence without saying any of the bullshit. He didn't. He condemned the violence without saying that this was a stolen election. This is literally
That's
what he
true.
said like 4 hours ago. He said, well, actually, no, I'll go to 9 hours ago. The violence and destruction taking place at the U.S. Capitol must stop, and it must stop now. Anyone involved must respect law enforcement officers and immediately leave the building. And then later on, he said, we condemn the violence that took place here in the strongest possible terms. We grieve the loss of life in these hallowed halls, as well as the injuries suffered by those who defended our Capitol today. Donald Trump, he's not a fucking president, he's a traitor, said nothing anywhere near the realm of what Vice President Mike Pence said. No, anywhere near that. He had to start off with, this is still a fraudulent election, and then say, go home. Like, that's not leadership. Stop stoking the flames.
After, just to be clear, after inciting this,
Yeah.
that's the part that always needs to be said. None of this had to happen. This was requested to happen from Trump.
So
I just checked it out. Pence is still following Trump. Either he re-follows him because the fucking media got a hold of the stuff, or he never did stop following him. But yeah, Mike Pence still follows Trump.
I mean, we briefly touched upon this, but we all know if this were 50 black, Latino,
Thousands?
even Asian, even thousand, if 15 of them had gotten past that barricade, they all would have met lethal force. We all,
It would have been a
everybody
Call of
knows
Duty
it.
kill streak.
Yeah, it would have been like a Pavlov would have came in and just fucking mowed everybody down.
Yeah.
Somebody would have called in. It just they probably would never have gotten through the doors if they're black and brown.
I don't.
Well, I mean, usually I try to like tiptoe around this sort of shit, right? But I'm not right now. I'm not going to do that. If you think that what Oninja just said isn't true at all, that he's speaking in hyperboles, fuck you. Because literally, you can just look to last year. Look to last year at the incredible amount of force that was used against the Black Lives Matter protests. And yes, there were some rioting that happened. I'm not discounting that. But peaceful protesters, I saw them get shot in the fucking face with rubber bullets and gas canisters. I saw them get violently arrested. I saw them break their bones. All on fucking live TV for everybody to see. All of them on live TV. I saw literally people of color get plucked out of crowds to get arrested. All right.
Yep.
Did you see that today? 16 people
Not
got
at all.
arrested. 14, I think it was like 1,400 or 14,000 people got arrested from the protest earlier last year from Black Lives Matter protests.
Yep.
If you're gonna sit there and tell me that America doesn't have a problem with racism anymore, or that America's not a racist country, then you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry, you're fucking stupid. Like you're not paying attention. Like this is literally every black person that watched this happen to, or any person of color that watched this happen today. It's probably almost all, unless you're like Candace Owens, universal mind of if they were black, what would have happened? It would have been vastly different. But the fact that these people were mostly white is a huge problem that needs to get resolved. And it makes me uncomfortable even like calling out just the skin tones of people that happen. But I cannot deny it because it's a fucking fact. If you had those people, the same amount of people that were brown storming the Capitol, they would have been shot. And this is not even a question. It is a fucking fact because it already happened.
Of course.
It's funny how, like, people. Sorry. it's funny how people with the whole Black Lives Matter, like there were a few bad seeds of people like breaking into stores and stealing shit and like doing damage to property, and people were like, oh, these guys are terrorists or against America and blah blah blah. And basically the same shit was fucking happening today in the fucking state capital. Like, what the fuck?
They stole federal property and didn't get shot.
Let's be clear on a couple things. So, and I love the passion. I love this discussion. We've talked about some of these issues all throughout 2020. They stormed the Capitol in Michigan, that state capital, and pushed past law enforcement and all of that. And that was evil and wrong and should have had much more dire consequences. Yeah. They got emboldened from that shit. They got emboldened from some of the DC stuff, the DC violence that they incited as well. And unless you arrest thousands, then the answer or the logical conclusion that they all have is this is okay.
Pence, as far as I'm concerned, Pence gets not a dime of fucking credit. Because like you said, when that shit was going on in Michigan and shit, and he knows Trump better than any of us combined do. He works with him day in and day out for the past 4 years, and he's known him before then. He knows what kind of person he is, and he should have seen what was coming. And this is a surprise to Pence. It shouldn't be. And if it is, then Pence is a fucking idiot. But when the same thing happened in Michigan, and they blamed the governor because her restrictions were too tight for that shit happening, Pence had nothing to say. So all of a sudden today, when shit happens, and his bare minimum thing is death is bad. We shouldn't be killing people. There's no reason for us for people to be injured or hurt or murdered or killed or whatever. That's a bare fucking minimum. And you know the only reason he said that is because his ass was in the fucking skillet because he was in that fucking room. And he might have thought that, oh shit, my head's gonna be in the news because Trump put a bullseye on my back for being the one that fucking is going against him now. That's the only reason he spoke out, and he gave a half-ass for what he did, teetering on both sides, saying, oh, I understand that there's some people upset about the vote, and I respect that, and I can see why they're mad, but I also understand I can't do anything about it, or whatever. You don't, that's not fucking courage. Playing both sides of the fence isn't fucking courage. People like John Lewis that like fucking died for shit like that, and he wasn't saying, well, I understand that people that think that black people are just superior to white people or whatever. Like, no, they stood up on their ground on a matter of principle and what they believed in, and it was more than just, I might die here today, so maybe I should change my mind because, oh shit, I'm having a life or death experience or whatever. So I'm gonna say that what happened today was bad because I almost got fucking lynched by a fucking mob. Like
that bullshit.
Yeah, hold on, man. Real quick.
You don't get credit. You don't get credit.
No. The only thing that I said is that he was more presidential today than Donald Trump. That's all I'm saying. He did more to actually help the situation than Donald Trump did. He's the one who called in the National Guard. Hours late, but I guess he was waiting for old boy to fucking call him in because we went over this in the chat.
But yeah, he called him in because it was a hostage situation. He was a hostage in that situation.
But at least he did it.
He's like, help me, send in the National Guard.
Yeah, but the problem is, well, I mean, we talked about it in the chat. Is that the problem in DC is that the DC has no governor, and so they rely on the federal government to like really call in the National Guard.
Yeah,
they have a mayor, but no governor.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's where I tried to get clarification for most of today with that because normally for the states, the governor has to make a request saying, yo, we need the National Guard. The National Guard will get dispatched by the federal government because you can't just send the federal government into the states. Pay attention for those that don't believe in election laws or whatever, which is what they were objecting to, but the federal government cannot intervene in state issues or whatever unless they are requested by the actual government. But when you deal with DC,
I was gonna say it got a little muddy.
Well, no, it didn't get muddy because Trump was being protecting federal property or whatever. It was federal courthouses that he was protecting. But it's funny how that the United States Capitol building, from my understanding, is a federal fucking building, but there was no protection added for that, and that's in your own fucking backyard. But like I was saying before, DC is its own. It's not a state, so I've heard murky things about who it is that actually can initiate the actual National Guard in it. I've heard people say it's Trump's call, and then I've heard people say, or it was reported that it was Pence that actually made the call, which is absolutely fascinating because he jumped the chain of command, and they accepted that he jumped the chain of command.
Because
which is
Trump hasn't done
hilarious,
anything.
but it was
He's
needed.
done nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
Donald Trump has done literally zero to help the situation. He did nothing. Literally nothing. I'm sorry. He did worse than nothing. He stoked the flames. The little that he did do literally made the situation worse. That's all he did today.
And
He was not a leader. Unless you want to lead, white supremacist attempt to take over a federal building. Then yeah, I guess he succeeded.
And
Well, actually, no, he still lost
And
because they didn't do it. But
the
yeah.
person that should get credit today or whatever, and I've never said that he is good at speaking or whatever. Biden did an amazing job today
Oh yeah.
in terms of jumping out in front of it and all of a sudden it was like, yo, Biden is going to speak in the next 5-10 minutes. I'm like, yo, this dude isn't even fucking president yet. He doesn't take over in like 2 weeks. And he was like, yo, this is fucked up. Y'all need to stop or whatever. This is ridiculous. Blah 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 blah. And he laid his dick on the table. He's like, Trump, get out here, do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Speak to these people or whatever. I'm calling you the fuck out. And then Trump pulled out that I guess video, that pre-recorded video, whatever the fuck he was doing. And I was like, nah. I was like,
Yeah, he's
called
like
you
on
out
the
or
lawn,
whatever.
off to the side or some shit. He was like in the gardener's quarters or something.
His hair wasn't even orange. It wasn't even orange yet. His hair wasn't even
let me-
painted.
Let me call out a few folks, motherfuckers. If you work in the White House, in the administration, you need to get as clear the fuck away from all this toxic, terrorist, seditious stuff as you possibly can.
Oh, so hold on, real quick.
This is
That's-
not
Actually-
ending.
Before you complete what you're saying, multiple people have stepped down. From
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that, but that is wonderful. More need to.
yeah, they all should.
This needs to be a full-on stop the presses. We are all leaving
Like, yo, bro, I'm not with
until
that shit.
until he leaves. And I have never supported any of that kind of stuff prior. This is it's not about politics and Democrats or this man is a national security threat and a danger to us all. Nobody should be working for him. And if you do remain, to be clear, I'm going to consider you a co-conspirator in this sedition as well.
Yeah.
I really fucking am.
After his term, like any
Charge him.
books and novels and documentaries that should come out, I'm gonna be all over that shit because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of shit going on in the back end that people are just being fucking quiet about.
Yeah, so
Cowards.
This is
Cowards.
That's conspiracy theory, yeah.
so there's already people that are talking. This is kind of breaking. Is that there are people that are in preliminary talks about invoking the 25th Amendment for Donald Trump right now, and yeah, I mean I've said this on my Facebook page. I'm like, listen, if you support what happened today on the the Capitol building, unfriend me. We have nothing to talk about. You support terrorism, and you're a traitor to this country. And I make no bones about that. Seriously, you are. If you support any of this. And if you're a listener, don't listen to us anymore. At all. Fuck you. Like, this is not the way America was designed to work. This is not American at all. This is not part of the American dream. This is one fucking asshole that has snake oiled his way into your minds and has destroyed parts of this country. He's destroyed the Republican Party for years to come. Years to come. All right, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a Republican at all. I used to consider myself one, but I've been sort of like I'm sort of independent, but not really.
Just call yourself an American.
Yeah, I vote whoever the fuck I want to vote for at this point in time. I'm not beholden to any party. But this man has destroyed the RNC completely. Like there is no coming back from this easily. He's put them in a position to where they're fucked. And the problem that I have going forward is that we're putting all our hopes and dreams into two people that I don't fucking believe in. I don't believe in Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, I'm sorry. I don't believe in them at all. But I hope, and this is atheist hope, all right? I hope that they do a better job going forward than he did. It's not a very high bar, but they need to heal this country, and it's going to be really hard. But it's not off to a good start because when we had the 117th Congress meet 2 days ago, what was the first thing on their docket? Eliminating gender fucking pronouns from speech for Congress. That's their fucking priority. That's the priority. Not fucking COVID. Not COVID at all. People are dying.
Or anything.
Yeah. Not stimulus checks, nothing. Let's not say father, daughter, sister, brother, man, woman. That's their fucking priority right now. So, like, America, we're pretty fucked. And so, yeah, we're giving the appropriate amount of shit to the Republican Party and to Donald Trump because they deserve it. But the Democratic Party is not off to a good start.
You know, it's funny if I was to, if you were to say what was happening today without saying what's happening in America, I was like, okay, this is some third, fourth world country type shit going on. Like, you got the government doing kind of crazy shit, people protesting and like rioting in the buildings and stuff like that. But like, this is fucking America. Like, we had like a super powerful fucking stronghold. Like, we had respect and people looked up to us, and now fucking look at us. Like, we're literally fighting amongst each other. There's people who are following, like you said, Donald Trump with his snake oil. Like, I don't even know how this guy is able to brainwash so many people and people not noticing like the crazy shit that he's fucking doing and saying. And like people say like, oh, Donald Trump's the first president that haven't had a war in his whole fucking term. It's like, okay, yeah, there's no fucking war, but there's literally a war within our own fucking country. Like,
Blue,
the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No, listen to what I just said. It's the woke movement bullshit. This is the reason why that he became president. It's because of this stupid shit that the Democratic Party is clinging to for some odd reason. And they're not down with any of that. And they're getting, you know, they got gaslit before, like a lot of people. And I think that people of color didn't realize it. That, you know, all these white people, they lost their jobs. And you have these people in the Democratic Party that were in power that were perceived by them just taking away all the shit that they were used to, you know.
Oh well, I think I want to add to what you just said. It wasn't just people that lost their jobs; it was families that lost their business. So there's a lot of small business owners that ended up failing, and they were hoping for a reprieve, and it didn't come.
I'm not saying it's right, but this is just what happened, and you can talk to them, and they will tell you that. They'll tell you that they don't care about a whole bunch of issues that Democrats care about, because where they live, these are non-issues, but they keep getting pushed by the Democratic Party.
I'm fine with everything and the perspective that you came from, everything you said and the perspective that you're coming from or illustrating. What I'm not okay with is blatant,
the obvious thing,
white supremacy, racist bullshit. And that's the biggest problem with what's going on with the Trump supporting super right wing portion of the conservative folks. It's blatant.
So I don't consider
that's my thing.
Hold on, I don't consider that super right wing. I don't consider, when you say super right wing, can you just translate it to white supremacy? They're not super right wing. They are white supremacists. Because when you think of super right wing, at least to me, for what I've seen over the past couple of years, they're just white supremacists. I'm going to call it the way I see it now. It's not super right wing.
I hear what you're saying. I'm talking specifically about the MAGA pro Trump. They would consider themselves. I'm not speaking for them. They would consider themselves, quote unquote, right wing, quote unquote conservative.
That's not
what I'm. I hear you. All I'm trying to say is, the biggest issue, yes, you could say Democrats got some silly objectives and worrying about pronouns. I get all that. Blatant support for racism, both systemic stuff and overt, I don't like black people, I don't like gay people, I don't like Jews. I'm never going to be okay with it. And that cloud is hanging over them right now, and they've embraced it for years.
Yeah.
That's that big elephant in the room, to use a pun, kind of because of GOP, that needs to be addressed.
Well, and
it's been cultured. As I say, it's been cultured and incubated. I mean, even before Trump got in there or whatever.
Oh yeah, well before.
Yeah, well, it dates way back. I mean, even when these people were saying that Obama was a fucking terrorist from fucking Kenya and
he was a socialist.
Wasn't born here.
Kenya.
Yeah, all this like fear mongering language, and you heard it. I mean, I heard bits and pieces of Trump's speech. I guess last night or 2 nights ago, when he's just like, they want to turn this into a socialist country. They're coming and moving into your neighborhoods. They're going to take over your suburbs. It's shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I want to categorize it or whatever. I mean, they're pieces of shit. So if they're MAGA heads or if they're just extreme right wing people or whatever, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't care or whatever. But I can see who they fucking are or whatever.
Yeah.
So
this is the
that ideology that they are better than other people or just anti-equality and just have a supremacist type ideology, whatever it be. I mean, the leader of the Proud Boys, for example, is a Latino guy or whatever. I'm not here for that shit or whatever. And I don't really care what happens to you in terms of like you getting thrown into the jail, the bottom of the sea, into the sun, or put your neck into a guillotine or whatever. I kind of don't care at this point. Son's hungry.
This guy.
I have I have a moral problem with with all this shit that's happening. All right, my moral problem is that I bring up this dude a lot. Well, probably not enough, but a man named Daryl Davis. All right, and this is a guy who has converted a whole bunch of KKK members into like seeing the light and not being racist anymore. And so anytime I say, something about white supremacists and they're like, fuck these people, I keep in mind that dude. All right, every single time I say it, because you can reason with them, with some of them on some level, but I'm getting into like two problems. It's like, first of all, how many people overall, and then second of all, do we have that amount of time to do that? Like these are the problems that I'm coming up with, and there's certain things that you're gonna do where you can't really be forgiven for doing. Actually, it's not even that you're gonna be forgiven. It's how can that person possibly recover? Rehabilitate from their actions. That's my problem. And these are considerations that all these people that are these MAGA people, they don't have the same considerations for people of color that are thrown in jail unjustly for fucking bullshit crimes.
And because their mentality is totally different.
Yes,
I have no problem with that.
But I'm giving them the consideration, and I'm considering it less and less because I see that they would never give me, if they put me in jail for some bullshit crime, they wouldn't give a shit about me. So why should I give a shit about them? But I need to be a fucking better person. So I would hope that they will see the light, but I don't really fucking see it happening.
Yeah,
my line in the sand is jumping back to one of our S-Class interviews we had was with W. Kamal Bell, who did the, what was it called?
United Shades of America?
Yeah, United Shades of America, where he went to the Klan, he went to a Klan thingy, a KKK thing, and
rally.
Rally. And they expected him to come, and as a gift, they gave him fried chicken and fucking watermelon because, like, their stereotype is so fucking set in stone and strong that, like, that's what they thought that he would like. And it's like, thinking about Daryl Davis, how, like, he went there and broke it down to them, like, hey, like, this isn't, like, we're not, like, all black people aren't just stereotype people. And, like, the fact that he got people to change their minds, I think is fucking awesome. And I think there should be more people like that, like, going out there and letting people know, like, hey, this is how people really are.
I have no problem with that ideology and everything. If it is your personal belief, I'm all for freedom of religion and everything. The only difference between a cult and religion is the amount of people that believe in whatever. So if a person believes that, yeah, I'm a superior person because I'm white and my skin color is this, all right, fuck you, that's fine, whatever. But at that point where you believe that and you are willing to exercise violence towards other people, then that's when you got to go into the sun or whatever. And I have no tolerance for that. When you are doing things that, I mean, the people that aren't at that level, yeah. If we can clone Dale Davis and have them talk and speak to these people at these Klan rallies and stuff like that, I'm all for that. But believe that are going to go shoot up churches in South Carolina, that are going to drag black people by trucks and stuff in like Jasper, Texas, and that just want to do things physically against people that look like me, that don't know me, just they don't like me or like the way my kid looks or whatever, and just want to keep me down physically and do things to harm me or whatever, whether it fucking tie me to a cotton gin and with barbed wire and throw me in the fucking water or whatever. I give no, maybe I'm cold. I'm sorry. I give no fucks.
No, I mean it's not cold. I mean I
Because
understand.
obviously you don't.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got. Not to say that people can't be rehabilitated. I'm not trying to say that people are just lost causes or whatever. My line, and it's just my personal line, is when you start using violence against, and it doesn't even have to be against black people. It could be against people of the LGBTQ community, Latino, Asian, Indian, Jewish, whatever. Fuck y'all. Y'all gotta go.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a problem.
That's why Magneto's my boy.
Yeah, it's a problem with like I try to be as altruistic as reasonable, you know, as reasonable as possible, and so I try to give them the same amount of leeway as I would hope that they would obviously not give me, but I still when you have two sides, not even two sides, when you're into a war, like things like this, where it comes to like cultural issues and shit like that, there needs to be somebody that takes the higher ground. And so I'm trying really hard to take the higher ground and give them some leeway, but it's less and less these days. You know, I gave leeway to Donald Trump when he became president. I lost friends for it. I didn't support him. I just said, hey, I hope that he does better for America. I hope he does good shit for America. And I lost friends just by saying that. And he has let me down pretty bad. Not that I supported the guy, but I wanted America to do better, you know? And he just fucked it all up. And I just want people to understand, if you're listening to this and you're thinking that, oh, you want to give these racist people a chance. No, it's not that it's giving them a chance. It's that I hope that they can be reasoned with and that America can be healed, because I love America. I really do. But these last couple of years in America have been fucking horrific for me. It's been so horrific, especially today. Like, my timetable to move into Canada is moving closer. Like, seriously. I can't raise my kid here and having her see shit on the news like what happened today. This is shit where we would send in people, like, we would send in Marines to stop shit like this. To stop this fucking madness from happening, and to see it perpetrated in such a way where we just invited basically they might as well just run a fucking red carpet to these fucking terrorists to invade the goddamn Capitol building. How can I possibly support any of that when literally months ago I watched people asking for equal rights be shot in the face by rubber bullets and gassed and brutally assaulted by the hands of the police, and the same police officers that they were assaulted by were on Capitol grounds today, and they did fucking nothing. Nothing.
Kinda-
Just to be really clear, you know, it's been around for the last 5-6 years. The whole all lives matter, blue lives matter stuff as a response to Black Lives Matter. You had a crowd that has overtly stated that, oh, you know, blue lives matter and all lives matter, attacking police on camera. The hypocrisy is just every second of today was drenching with hypocrisy. They don't respect any lives at all, and we've called them violent terrorists. They need to be called violent terrorists. There needs to be way more arrests and way more SEAL Team 6 style raids of homes where you kick in the fucking door and everybody gets down or people get shot in the fucking face.
And it's not just
Because we have you on video doing federal crimes.
It should be like a regular police arrest. This is federal fucking prison you're going to because you committed crimes against Americans. You're a federal ground that fucking you did this terrorist shit at. But I'm just kind of jumping back to what Stitch was saying.
Guantanamo.
Yeah, basically.
Oh shit.
Let me get ass raped like in Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay. But I'm just kind of jumping back with what Stitch was saying with like the whole like, you know, people who like believe that like your race is better as long as you're not doing bad fucking shit. There's no time in history has there ever been a race that's like, okay, I'm superior to you, I'm gonna do good stuff. Like, yeah, those people still do fucking horrible things. Like we got fucking like for first example, it's fucking with the Nazis. They thought they were more superior than fucking Jews, and to me, I thought they were all white, but they thought they were better than this other race, and they fucking started killing them off. But like, you still got like I don't want to say the title, but like you got like Pakistan and Iraq, like those motherfuckers are at war right now for fucking grounds because one religion thinks that they're better than the other, and it's like, no, motherfucker, we're all fucking human beings, fucking earthlings. Like, what the fuck? Like, if aliens came right now and attacked fucking the planet, they'd be like, you're all gonna fucking die. Like, there's no fucking skin tones.
This is the perfect time to conquer the Earth because we're infighting right now. They just come in and just like wipe us out real easy. We wouldn't even unite to fight back. We just sit there and roll over and take it pretty much. I want to say on the world scale, the world was watching today. The world was watching what was happening.
Laughing.
There was some were laughing.
No,
some
honestly,
felt sorry.
They probably were not laughing.
Sorry.
Hold on, the rest of the world is probably scared as fuck right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably scared as fuck. I mean, the man with the nuclear codes has incited violence upon his own citizens. Let that sink in. Think if you were living in, I don't know, Iran or China or Russia or North Korea. They don't have the internet there, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Like, a fucking madman still has the nuclear codes right now, and look at what's happened. The thing that he incited, he sells nuclear codes
to his colleagues, basically. I mean, like Congress, like they're also government employees, and all, you know, they're getting paid by the federal government. This is a federal property and all of that. He doesn't give a single fuck about you. That's the other thing. His own crowd, his own people, his own terrorists that he incited, he does not care about you.
Let's get into that.
He really don't.
Let's get into that right now. Let's get into how Donald Trump, not the president, he does not deserve that title, has destroyed the Republican Party. He destroyed it. Single fucking handedly by losing an election, and then by saying that the only way he could lose it is if it was fraud. And then once multiple agencies investigated this so-called fraud from the election that we just had, nothing came of it that would overturn the election, and he kept talking about it. And meanwhile, there were two people that were still up for Senate in a runoff race that were Republicans, and he cost them the race. He literally cost the Republican Party the Senate. And
he's radioactive.
Yeah. Seriously.
In a notoriously historical red state. I lived in Georgia. Georgia is good old boy Bible Belt country.
Yeah.
And it has always, for the most part, been pro Republican, very red. Now, Stacey Abrams helped to change that. Atlanta Metro is certainly a more Democratic place and all that, but it was never overwhelming in terms of on a Senate level or in the presidential election, like a blue state. Yeah. I mean, if we go back too far,
but
recent years.
Just in exactly. You had a blip or whatever. Just like with California being Republican, and you had what's his name, Reagan.
Yeah, and Carter's from Georgia. That's why.
Going back in history, at least until 1972, for Georgia, they were blue in 2020, which is recent, 1992, 1980, and 1976. The only time they've been blue states. Right, it was the blue. They turned
president.
Yeah,
presidency. That's for in terms of like their Senate and governor and stuff like that.
So for those keeping score at home, in the last 4 years, in 2018, the Republicans lost the House. 2020, they lost the White House. 2021, as of yesterday, they lost the Senate. That is 0 for 3. So when Kronos says he's cost the Republican Party, it's apparent. That's not an opinion. That is a fucking fact. And you couldn't do really any more statistical losing than going 0 for 3 in all three branches.
And let me break it down even further about the way that he's cost the RNC everything. So the Republican National Convention, or I'll just call them the Republicans in general, the Republican Party, the GOP, whatever. They are forced with two terrible choices right now. The first one is to distance themselves from the Trumpers.
Mm-hmm.
And the other choice they have is to ally themselves with the Trumpers, which at this point, the Trumpers, the remaining MAGA folks, they're not even closeted racist. They're obvious racist. Yep. They are now, a lot of them, terrorists. I'm not going to say all of them. A lot of them, probably the vast majority of them, are terrorists at this point in time.
Waiting for the butt.
They are. No, it's not even a butt. There's no butt here. The MAGA right now, as far as I'm concerned, is the Confederacy. MAGA will go down as the Confederacy, and I'm going to Negrodamus this for you. So when you see them waving around the Confederate flags and the MAGA flags, it's appropriate. They're missing their hoods, but that's them. Like that's where they're going to go down in history as being the fucking losers in America. They're going to keep trying to like bring up some other bullshit. Go ahead, Stitch. You're trying to talk.
I was going to say the butt is that there's still 70 million of them, unfortunately. And that they are, in theory, they voted the highest, only losing to Biden 78 million or whatever. They produced the second highest voting election outcome of all time. And that's the for a comic book reference, that's the power stone that these clowns in GOP are trying to touch. They don't understand that, you can't touch that shit because you're going to fucking burn, and you can't handle all that shit, and all that encompasses it. Well, but all they look at is that number. They're like, I could get 70 million votes or whatever. If I can handle it because I can be smarter than that. And they don't realize that all that comes with that.
It's literally Icarus. All right. And they are seeing now, some of them, we're already seeing it now, is that people that are in the Senate have already started like walking back, rescinding their opposition to President-elect Biden being the president. Like, we're already seeing it because like they were like, oh shit, they really are fucking crazy. God damn. All right, let's step back here and like, hey, all right, Biden's good. Let's not have these violent folks try to kill me.
I mean, if somebody broke into your office and stole your shit, wouldn't you rescind?
Some of them haven't. Some of them have not. They have not rescinded.
No.
Correct. They need to be called out.
It was a litmus test for a lot of these clowns because it was supposed to be 15 or something of them that were going to be like, we object. And then you even saw Loeffler, which was the girl who lost less than 12 hours ago, who was all for Trump's whatever thing. After she lost and after all hell broke loose, she rescinded her shit and it got down to 6. So they got in a way they got lucky because, and I put this on my Facebook like 48 hours ago or whatever before this all happened. I was like, we are about to see the names of the traitors, and history is not going to forget their names and know who is McCarthy, who is Bull Connor, and who are these people that our kids are going to read about in history books and be like, yo, that person actively did that dumb shit or whatever.
Well, hold
And
on.
they got lined up and they started the process. Cruz started it, and then the other dude, the guy from Missouri, did. And then all hell broke loose. And so they had a second chance. They had one more chance to be like, "Yo, you really want to do this?" And then half of them were just like, "I don't think I want to sign on to that." And, but six of them still did and everything. So those six people, they're fucked. And whenever their term ends, I will be highly surprised if they get reelected, because all you got to do is be like, yo, this is you, right? You were signed on to this. This is what you were caused. And that's all that anyone has to do.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny. I just posted it in the chat real quick. I just said that today's gonna go down in history, where our fucking kids, our grandkids, are gonna ask us about it for a report that they're fucking writing. Can you imagine that shit?
Mm-hmm.
I
We
forget.
lived through some crazy shit in our lifetime.
Yeah,
We have.
there was somebody, I can't remember. It's a female. She's a female. I can't remember her name, but she's a fresh. She just got elected to either the Senate or the House, and she's putting forth a bill to basically remove every single senator that was opposing the results of the election. And honestly,
Oh,
at some point, you have to remove the cancer, because they are cancer and they are power hungry people. And I said this before and I'll keep saying it, is that people that want power do not deserve it. They don't. It's the people that don't want power that likely deserve it. Because look at this, all they're doing is just trying to get more and more power, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
it's fucking building movement 101.
Their names are attached to it, and I people will remember this. They even before. I thought people would remember it before all the violence broke out and everything. I was like, good. Let's see their names. Let's have it on. Put it on wax or whatever. Let us know forever and have it etched in stone. Who are these motherfuckers that tried to just say fuck democracy? I'm mad because I didn't get my way, and they did that. Plus, we had something that's never happened since 1812 because of what they did, and they doubled down on it. So those six people, they will be the fucking McCarthy of our generation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with it. Listen, I know we can go on and on about this. This is a breaking story. There's going to be developments as we keep going with this cast. Any final before we move on to just a few fun things?
Yeah. Let's move on.
I say be prepared for more stuff coming out. 'Cause we didn't even talk about what happened in LA. There was like a huge scuffle in LA between MAGA supporters and police. There's beatings and stuff and arrests. Be prepared for more as we get closer to January 20th.
Yep.
And
also
probably
like-
even after.
There's also the fucking call numbers are fucking outrageously high. Like every fucking day, the records are being broken from the day before. But then also like we got 2 more weeks for the inauguration that's gonna be happening, and like if you thought this was a shit show, like I'm hoping for inauguration. It should not be a shit show because it's gonna security will be off the chain for that whole event. But like
Should be
Hold on,
virtual.
We hope that security should be off the chain. And Stitch is right.
yeah, it should be
Biden
fucking
might do
virtual.
virtual. I don't know. Was it announced? Is he doing virtual?
He should. Anyone with a half a brain, I would assume that. Yeah,
So,
these people
I mean, if they do live and direct, they should expect people trying to bust in, and be prepared for that.
Damn. This is a hard fucking transition, but do we want to talk about our award show?
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't know if we're gonna do it or not. I mean, we can. There's obviously that was a lot. There could be more said, but I guess we can do what Congress did. The show must go on. They're literally still talking right now.
Nothing with them, so
Yeah, what the show must go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. It'll just take some time.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it was a heavy day, as we all know, and this is a show where we bare our souls here.
Actually,
we talk the real talk.
Well, we have to modify it now. I mean, because there's going to be the Rotten Eggplant Award, and today should be on there.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's hard because.
Oh shit! It was last year.
That's 2021
Yeah,
now.
it was 2020.
Yeah, so we just got to make a note for 2021.
Yeah, put them in the notes.
Yeah.
So usually, it's funny because usually in January, it's kind of a quiet time period. There's not a whole lot of games or movies coming out, and we're just like, oh, let's do a whole episode on, kind of green forever content of here's our nominees. That didn't happen fucking this year.
Still.
But do we want to run through them really quickly, or maybe a few of them, half of them, a few, or what do we want to do?
We have basically around an hour, so like for a normal kind of long podcast length. So if we want to do them all, we can. We have an hour.
Well, I say we run through a few because there's some stuff. There are some nominees that are on there that we haven't talked about, and I know Blue has something he wanted to talk about that's a nominee. There's something that some of us have seen, which is one of the movies, and we didn't talk about Cobra Kai yet, so
Cobra Kai came out this year, not last year.
No,
I know, but
no,
we were talking about
topics.
just a review.
Oh,
just
okay.
one of the topics.
Yeah,
Actually,
really quick.
I would say let's talk about the awards next week because I don't want to fucking just stick a tip in and like pull out. Like nobody wants that shit.
I mean, if we can fit it all in,
go all in.
if we can fit it all in an hour, then let's do it. If you don't think we can, then let's not do it.
We can. I think we can get it in. I think we can get it in.
That's what I told her. I'm just saying.
Oh man.
Really quickly.
I'm thinking the topic of this episode is going to be like, we're still in it. Eggplant Award 2020.
We'll see. Cronus does a great job with the names every goddamn week. But really quickly, for those who are newer fucking listeners, every fucking year we have what's known as the Golden Eggplant Awards, where we nominate what we think are the best or the fucking worst in various categories, and you, the fucking listeners, the fucking fans, the real people, actually decide who wins. Go ahead.
And it's funny because like year one for this award, we all dressed up. Ever since
Yes, we did.
Yeah. We're just like, fuck it.
Go ahead, old ninja. You kind
I
of
was going to say really quick. We can kind of. There's some things I think we should definitely skip because they're definitely more visual than just us talking at people, especially if you're listening to us via SoundCloud or any other audio service. That we can use kind of the time to talk about some of the nominees that we didn't get to talk to really very, very, very quickly. So
kick it off. Non-visual one.
Yeah, so the first one is visual, so I'm going to skip. It's the best memes of 2020. So I'm going to go to ones that you should maybe hear the names really quick, but it's the FAP Award. This was controversial for a little while, so we changed it. It's been the FAP Award. This is the sophomore year of the FAP Award, and our nominees are Megan Tandy. If you don't know who she is, she's from Batwoman. She's actually super fappable. We have
the new Batwoman, right? Is that the new one?
No, she's been on since season 1. She'll be back for season 2, but
gotcha. Okay,
she's on there.
So now they got 2 black women. Holy shit! All right.
What's up?
But we can still do memes on here because I mean, you can describe a meme.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We have to describe the meme, so it's better if you.
We're
look
running
at
short
it
on time.
Yeah. So back to the FAP Award nominees. We have Megan Tandy, Doja Cat, Claudia Dumont, who is in Modern Warfare and in The Boys, and then we have a Twitch streamer, Emery Pan, Super Thickness, and then we have Swole Abby from
yeah,
so that's the nominees.
That's gonna make them mad.
Hose
Wait,
man.
we're still linked to the nominees.
I have the link already ready to go because once we are done, the awards are going to be live.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, are you just going to go over all of them, or are we going to go each?
We're probably going to skip a couple.
Category.
Yeah.
Are we each doing it, or are you just doing it yourself?
God damn.
No, everyone pick. You do the next one, Blue. There you go.
Do the next one. The link to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I'm trying to.
You
it's on the
walked.
drive.
You walked
Yeah,
away. I mean.
You know how fucking long our drive is, or how big our drive is?
Jesus
Big
fucking
up,
Christ.
Here,
Big up on
Blue.
this podcast.
Hold on.
Here,
just
here, here.
Calm,
I'm gonna-
calm the fuck down. Here. That's where it
Yeah,
is.
the link there. There's the link.
Wait, where's the link?
I just
Oh,
put it
God.
in the chat that you're talking on right now.
Yeah, look at your top left. You'll see a little thing.
Okay, I see it. All right, cool.
All right. So you got the. So technically, this is the third category for you.
All right, I'll try to do it. As long as there's not names I can't pronounce, I always fuck up on that shit.
It's the Porn Star
most
Awards.
of these are pretty easy. You have Prodigy's
we're
favorite
being-
category.
Real quick, the White House Deputy National Security Advisor just resigned. But yeah.
Oh shit!
Boy.
Actually, I'm gonna do the memes. They're pretty easy to do. So
All right.
first up, we got Ben Shapiro, the WAP meme, which is pretty fucking funny. We got Carol Baskin,
Jesus
Tiger
Christ.
King meme.
Blue, you didn't even listen to what he just said, did you?
No, what do you say?
He said do the third one, so not the best meme award.
No, I said I'm gonna do such and such because I want to do that.
What the
We're running
fuck?
short on time. We don't have time to do that.
I love this. No.
I'll do the third one.
Blue, I'm drinking too, and I understand these things.
No, I know he said. I know we're short on time, and we can't describe them because they're memes, but the memes are pretty short. I thought you can just throw out the names and people will fucking understand them. Our listeners have more than half a brain cell, so they can probably figure out the memes. But I'll go ahead and do the third one.
Okay, I'm glad you agree now. All right, let's go.
I gave you a little tip of the meme category, but yeah. So jumping over to the porn of the year, we have Violet Meyer. I should stick to the meme. Myers. Demeen Sutra. Oh, okay, that's nice. Kimmy Grander. Wow, these
Kimmy
are
Granger.
Granger, she should have been on last year, but
Don't
you
start out
pull
with
a
me.
Trump
Why you
decide
that's
to
some
just
bullshit? You have
fuck with elections.
there's no fucking proof. Where's your proof? Where's your proof?
Who else?
Keep going, Blue.
Next up, we have who was that on? Gabby Carter. No relation to Jimmy Carter, our Beyonce's husband.
Or Agent Hunter.
We have Honey Gold. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny with this category? It felt like I get introduced to a lot of stars I never even heard of.
Oh yeah,
I don't know any of them.
Jesse Ryan.
Jess
This is
Ryan.
Jess Ryan.
Oh, sorry, Jess Ryan. Sorry. Lily Kawhi, which is my category, my ad. Crystal Lutz.
Mm-hmm.
Jada Fire. Jada Kiss. I mean, Kush.
It's Jade Kush.
Jade. Oh yeah, Jade Kush. My bad. And Ariana Adine.
Goddamn, she look thick as
Mhm.
fuck.
Sure.
So can I just say really quickly, this has been one of the most controversial ones historically, where we get all kinds of hate mail and how come you didn't ask
Yes.
this one? How come you didn't add that one?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck all of y'all. These are the nominees. Pick.
Yeah. So on top of
we
that,
should
this is probably the most nominees for Porn Star of the Year we've ever had.
Yep.
We should put our names attached to who nominates it, because I get hate mail for some nasty people that Prodigy be throwing up. They're like, what the fuck is that? They're like, what is that? I was like, I have no idea who that is, or whatever. I'm like, I nominated this person and that person, whatever. So maybe that might be something in the future. We'd be like nominated by Sticks or whatever.
I feel like the party might be a little bit biased if we let them know who was the one that voted for them, because I don't want people to know what kind of shit I'm into.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious? This is for the listeners.
I don't want people to think I'm into what you're into.
That's true.
This is like one of the categories that I don't think I have ever, maybe once, have contributed to, is Porn Star of the Year. And I watch porn, but I never contributed because I usually watch amateur shit. I'm not gonna put up like some amateur porn person. So,
Yeah, I put that amateur shit on here.
Yeah. Someone put a bunch of amateur shit, so their shit was super difficult to add.
I did Carter and Granger. Carter and Granger are Stitches, so the rest of those
Gotcha.
crazy people are y'all's.
Let me
All right,
let me
so-
take. Oh, go ahead.
Kawhi and Jess Ryan is mine.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Let me take.
I know who the rest are then.
Don't say nothing. Let me take best new anime of 2020. We got.
Yo, should
the
we have like a hentai category?
No.
No.
No. because I like old school '90s hentai. The best new anime of 2020: God of High School, Blood of Zeus, Interspecies Reviewers, Jujutsu Kaisen, Onyx Equinox. Holy fuck, did that one end very interestingly. No fucking spoilers, but there is some orgy awesomeness going on there. Burn the Witch. Yeah. Oh, it was a good orgy, though. Burn the Witch, Dorohedoro, Beastars, which is basically Zootopia, MFKZ Motherfuckers, and Great Pretender.
All right, I will take the next. And best returning anime series of 2020, the nominees are Castlevania, Attack on Titan, One Piece. Who the fuck did that? Black Clover. He's not even caught up. He's already like nominating. Anyway, and Fire Force.
Well, that's pretty short.
Yeah.
Stick the next one.
I don't have the list in front of me, so you guys.
God damn it.
I'll take the next one.
Go ahead.
Best new animated series of 2020: Solar Opposites, Star Trek Lower Decks, Animaniacs, Crossing Swords, Adventure Time Distant Lands, and Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast.
All right. Blue, you want this one?
Yeah, so next up we have Best Returning Animated Series of 2020. First up we have Rick and Morty on Cartoon Network. We have Carmen Sandiego on Netflix. She-Ra and the Princess of Power, another Netflix banger. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Was there a new season this year?
Yep, there's a new season at the very
returned.
beginning of the year,
Yeah.
season 7.
And then last up we have Harley Quinn, which is on DC Universe /
HBO Max.
All right, I'll take the next one. Best new TV show of 2020. We have Hunters, an Amazon series, Lock and Key, and Netflix, Tiger King, we all know from Netflix, Lovecraft Country, HBO, Black as Fuck, Netflix, or hashtag Black as Fuck, Woke, Hulu, Cobra Kai, the Netflix series. And just to clarify, we all realized that it was a YouTube Red series a few years back, but most people got exposed to it via the Netflix seasons being run.
And it's really good. You see Blue's shirt.
Hell yeah.
I finished season 3 already.
Gangs of London. This was definitely a Prodigy ad. It is by the same, I think, director or producer that did the Raid movies.
Nice.
It's off the fucking hook. The Queen's Gambit.
Fantastic show.
Gangs in New York or Gangs with London. Because you're nominated. Where do you watch?
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's on AMC Plus, and the first few episodes are on Amazon Prime. The Queen's Gambit Netflix series, Raised by Wolves, HBO Max, and A Teacher, which looks like Hulu, right?
It is on Hulu. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's an FX series, but you can watch it on Hulu. There you go.
All right, and I will do the best returning TV show of 2020. The nominees are Altered Carbon, Dead to Me, Arrow, The Umbrella Academy Season 2, The Boys, Haunting of Bly Manor, Harley Quinn, The Mandalorian, The Expanse, and Ozark.
All right, Old Ninja.
All right, next up is a new category for us. This is Album of the Year. So first up, we have Body Count Carnivore. We have next up is Run the Jewels RTJ4. Next up, we have Busta Rhymes Extinction Level Event 2: The Wrath of God. Number 3, I can't pronounce this.
Toby
So
Nigwe.
is it-
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I can pronounce his last name.
I should've
Toby
done this one.
Nigwe, The Pandemic Project. Next up is Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist, Alfredo. Then Megan the Stallion, Good News, and then Prodigy's favorite, Lord Future, High Off Life.
All right.
All right.
This is you, Blue.
Next up, Game of the Year, we have Doom Eternal, which is highly recommended on this podcast. Animal Crossing New Horizon on the Nintendo Switch. And we have PlayStation's Spider Miles Morales Actually, it's Marvel. Sorry, Marvel's Miles Morales. I believe it's on. Is it on all the platforms? Or is it just Sony?
No, it's Sony exclusive.
Yeah,
Sony
Sony
exclusive.
exclusive. Then we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Maybe this one's interesting because we have Among Us on here. It's available on all the platforms. We have the
I thought that was mobile.
Fantasy.
I thought it was
No, it's
mobile.
just mobile and PC.
Yeah, mobile and PC.
Okay, sorry, not all platforms. It's 2 platforms. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake. This isn't Dr. Dre. Next up, we have Ghost of Tsushima, Persona 5 Royal, The Last of Us Part 2. Is it Part 3?
Part 2.
Part 2.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Part 2. And last up, we have Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which is available on the PS5. I actually added this last minute just because I've been playing it recently on the PS5 on the premium station. But yeah, so far this game is really fun. Like you're able to it's a side scroller, but like the way they kind of do the whole 3D effects, it's really well fucking done. Like there's like scenes where little Sackboy is basically fucking Iron Man. You have like this power suit that you fucking like fly around in, which is kind of cool. There's like boomerangs. There's like a crossbow that you can use. Like the stuff they have for Sackboy is pretty fucking fun, and like the whole story behind everything, it's actually really fucking enjoyable. So that's the reason why this game is on there. It's part of the whole Little Big Planet franchise, and the fact that they gave Sackboy kind of his own little adventure is pretty cool. And what's also cool is that it uses the full power of not the full power, but it uses like the controller aspects of the game. So there's certain times where you have to use the controller to control like certain movements. So like the controllers would do one thing with Sackboy, but like the 6-axle controller controls like what Sackboy is like standing on or whatever. So it's really cool how they put that all together. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Sackboy.
Wait, Blue, so the controller control stuff?
The controller
Sorry,
control
I
stuff,
knew it.
and then more.
Really quickly, back to the game of the year. Apparently, Among Us is now on the Switch.
Oh,
shit.
What did that happen in 2021?
I don't know. I didn't. So B-Boy Frost is talking about how it is now on the
Okay.
Switch, but I don't know. I mean, technically, Among Us has been out for a couple
Yeah,
of years.
it's not a
but
new game.
Oh, yeah.
It came out
Yeah, it's not
in
really a new
2018,
game,
so
Oh, but it blew up this year.
yeah.
The developers are working on Among Us 2, and like a lot of people have ported the game to like VR, which it looks fucking insane in VR.
God
All
damn.
right. All right.
Best new. Oh, I thought this was me. Yep.
is it you?
I thought it was you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Go
Best
ahead.
best new comic. We have Decorum, Jonathan Hickman. We have Philadelphia. Really good story. The Last Ronin. This was one that Kronos talked about, and I picked up a little bit later. Excellent Ninja Turtle story. The Dark Knight Death Metal from DC. X of Swords, which is all about X-Men from Marvel. Crossover. Is that Image?
It's Image,
Is
but
that what I
it's Donny Cates.
Donny
so,
Cates. Okay.
who did a bunch of like he did the Venom thing. I think he does the Null and a bunch of other. He's done a bunch of other like really good comics for Marvel and Image and a bunch of other stuff. So
Donny Cates is great.
yeah.
And this is one that I added kind of last minute because I was so goddamn impressed by it. Taking place after the Joker War. This is either a one-shot or it could be a continuing series. We don't fucking know yet. But Punchline, which is a new girlfriend of Joker and her origin story. I was fucking impressed by that.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna continue this year. So
Good.
But the whole Future War, DC Comics is gonna be really interesting this year. Either they're gonna fucking nail it, or they're gonna go down in flames because they're gonna basically have two totally different, from what I understand, like comic book lines come out this year, and it could be terrible. But from what I've seen so far, it's gonna be fucking fantastic. So we're gonna have Future State.
From what I understand, the two comic book lines are going to cross over at some point later on in the year.
Yeah,
So-
I wouldn't doubt it, but they all look really good. Anyway, I'm up for the best comic of the year, and the nominees are Batman Joker War, which is fantastic, Bitter Root, which I did not read. Now let's pick up X of Swords, Far Sector, Superman Smashes the Klan. All right. Immortal Hulk, Decorum, King in Black, and Empire. So yeah, those are some solid picks. I'm sure somebody's gonna get mad about our picks, but it's all good.
Make your own award show, motherfucker.
Yeah,
God damn.
grow an audience.
Hey, we get bad at like the Grammys and not the Grammys, but the Oscars and I guess not the Tonys. That's all. Just mainly the Grammys. I mean the Oscars.
Fuck 'em.
Um,
Is it you, old ninja?
Yeah, so okay. So the next one up is Best Male Celebrity of 2020. First up, we have Shad Gaspard. Next nominee is Jack Quaid. Third nominee up is Jonathan Majors. Next up, we have William Zabka. Next up, we have Joe Biden. Next up after him is Pedro Pascal. This is the way. And next up after him is Giancarlo Esposito.
This is not the way.
All right, Blue. I think it's
Highway.
Blue. I think it's you again.
Yeah, next up we have Best Celebrity, Female Celebrities of 2020. First up we have the beautiful and talented Doja Cat, which is funny because like when the podcast first started, like it was Cronus had brought up Doja Cat because our barber was into her. Like we listened to her, we reacted to her video, like okay, this chick is bad, but then she fucking blew it finally. Next up we have Naya Rivera, R.I.P. We lost her this year. Then we have Megan Thee Stallion, which actually I never seen her until I watched the video for a while. But I was like, oh okay. Then we have Cardi B. Then we have oh shit, what's her name? Journey
Smollett.
Boulier, aka the sister of John Boulier, who's trying to make her family name great again. Were you gonna say something, Cronus?
No. I fucked up saying her name. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so she's from she is from Lovecraft Country, but she's also that little girl from
Eve's Bayou.
Yep.
Wait, what? No, I was gonna say fucking Full House, but okay.
Oh yeah, she's in both. She also was in earlier this year, Birds of Prey.
And yeah,
Yeah, that was like,
in,
sorry. Yeah.
she was also in True Blood. She was
Yes, she
the Skinwalker. Next up we have Claudia Conway. Then we have Kamala Harris. Then we have the legendary, soon-to-be Stitches Future Bay of AOS or AOC.
AOS.
AOS. I think it's a
ALS.
show.
She's got problems.
You can
we
call
have
it AOL next.
Yeah. We have Alexandria Cortez.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Jesus Christ.
Yes. She says arigato like I say arigato. We have Stacey Abram. And then Amanda Cullen. Where's she from?
Colin.
She's actually Raised by Wolves,
Oh, okay.
and she knocks it out of the park on there.
Then we have Karen Fukuhara, which is from The Boys.
And she's from Kipo and
she's
the Age
also
of the
the
Wonder
voice.
Beast.
Yeah, she's also the voice of Kipo from Age of the Wonder Beast.
Oh, she's
And
also
finally-
she's also in She-Ra.
Oh yeah,
Which is
she does the voice of Sparkle, I think her name is.
Yeah, Glimmer.
Glimmer, that's what it was. And then finally we have Cronus' Sweet Bay hottie from Canada, Rosario Dawson.
She's not from
There you
Canada.
go.
She's my Canadian girlfriend. I'm just saying. You know what's insane? It's crazy to me that in 2021, we have 3 people on this list that they're not even really celebrities. They're public servants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at right now.
Yep.
It's
There
just,
you go.
yeah. So let's hope that this does not become a cult of personality with any of those 3 people, and that they are well respected and do a good job with what they are paid to do, serving the public. So I just want to put out that sort of disclaimer out there, because when I saw that we were putting on politicians on the, best female celebrity of the year, I was just like, oh no, but I didn't say anything. So I'm just I'll say my protest vote on that.
I didn't put any of them. I didn't put
You did one.
Harris or Biden on, or whatever. But I mean, what's her name? Abrams isn't a politician or whatever. She doesn't hold any office. She's somebody who decided to, after losing an election, to go get people to vote. So
Yeah, she's mostly known for her political work, and she deserves her 10-year plan on flipping Georgia. But that's what she's mainly known for is political work. I'm just putting it out there that it's interesting that today that we're putting that out there. It's just it's kind of cool, but I don't know.
Well, with the ALC, she's a fucking gamer, so she kind of got a little bit of street cred to be on this list outside of being in pop.
Best movie of the year.
All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah, because we say we short.
Sorry.
We say we short. The Five Bloods, Netflix, Trolls World Tour, Bad Boys for Life, Over the Moon, A Life on Our Planet, Sonic the Hedgehog, My Life as a Zucchini, Tenet, Wonder Woman 84, Death to 2020.
All right. Next up, we have. Holy shit! I think it's me, right? All right. Sorry, yep. Stitch. Can you see him now? Are you looking it up now? Or are you still out of this? Stitch?
Yeah, the link is still there.
Stitch. Yeah, I think Stitch is still out of it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, cool. We're going to the Rotten Eggplant Awards, which if you are a new listener or viewer, this is basically like our Razzies.
Mm-hmm.
The Rotten Eggplant Award for TV/movie. First up would be Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, and the Emancipation of wherever the fuck. It's too long of a movie to say. Pen 15 on Hulu. Bad Hair on Hulu. Was that really bad? I didn't watch it. Oh, okay.
I put it on the list, yeah.
All right.
It was really bad. And Pen 15 is a great fucking name for a show, but yeah, it's really bad too.
It just means dick. Anyway. Next up is Hubie Halloween, The New Mutants, which is no surprise to anybody because they were in development hell for multiple years and they reshot everything. Zack Snyder, take note. Anyway, Fantasy Island, Monster Hunter the movie, Artemis Fowl the show, and motherfucker.
Oh, it's a movie.
Wonder Woman 84 is up there for Rotten Eggplant.
We know who put that there.
Yeah, I do not agree.
Yeah.
But
neither does Prodigy.
We've done in the past where shows were both up for best movie and fucking Rotten Eggplant. So I did for Bird of Paradise. Or no, Bird View.
We'll let the people decide.
The people will decide. We are not going to subvert democracy. Go ahead, old ninja.
Yeah, people surprise us. People surprise us every fucking year. We do these.
Yes, they do.
Surprise us.
It's so good. So next up is the Rotten Eggplant for Game, and the nominees are Marvel's Avengers, the game, Resident Evil Resistance, Cyberpunk 2077, and Godfall.
Okay, I think it's you, Blue.
I know. Any of us played Godfall? I don't even know.
Not yet, but it didn't look great.
It crashed and burned.
Yeah,
I do know that.
Well, this is gonna be a good one.
Next up,
the next one.
Next up, we have Golden Eggplant for Person.
No,
Rotten.
Sorry, Rotten Eggplant for Person. My bad.
There ain't nothing golden about this shit unless we pissed on them. I'm just saying.
And unless you're R. Kelly. First up, we have former President Donald Trump, also known as traitor of the United States, Donald Trump. Then we have Kyle Rittenhouse. This is the guy who did the shooting and some kind of protest. I can't think of when it happened. But next we have Derek Chauvin. This was the officer who pressed his neck on what's name's neck for 7 minutes and 48 seconds, some shit like that.
George Floyd.
And you have George Floyd. You have Kayla McDuck-sucking Trump dick-sucking thing. How do you say her last name?
Kaylee McCann.
McEnany.
Yeah. Then we have Rudy Giuliani. Oh, the media. Fucking face melting, hair fucking dye dripping. Then we have Mitch McConnell, who's trying to keep our money from coming to us. Then we have Nancy Pelosi, who trying to keep our money from coming to us. And then we have Kathy Yang.
What did Kathy Yan do last year? I totally forgot.
Oh, she did Mulan, right?
No.
she did Birds of
Kathy
Prey.
Ann is Birds of Prey.
Oh,
Yeah, she should be on
Better
the
on Rotten Tomatoes than Wonder Woman 87, but
How dare you?
Yeah.
The shade. Dankest moment of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. The Red Dawn emails. Donald Trump getting COVID. Vanilla ISIS, in parentheses, domestic terrorist plot on the Michigan governor. George Floyd's murder. Megan Thee Stallion getting shot in her motherfucking pinky toe. The U.S. 2020 election as a whole. Homeland Security in Portland. West Coast fires. Donald Trump bombing Iran, nearly starting World War III. And it says in parentheses, beta. I don't know what the beta is.
The beta is because this could come off the list tonight. So
how you got me reading like rough draft versions to our audience?
This is why you should pay attention to the group chat.
God fucking damn it! Well, and then it says other.
Yeah, so people we're giving you this year the option to add in what you think was the dankest moment.
That is a mistake. You can't trust these people to write in stuff. We're gonna have it all over the place.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this is you not doing. This is you not doing what you were told to do. This is exactly why Kimmy Granger was left off last year's.
No, that's some fucking bullshit.
I specifically said that we should remove the Iran thing and put the presidential first debate on there, which you said I'm gonna do it, and then you didn't.
No, I never said I was gonna do it. I was like, oh, what do y'all think? And nobody said nothing. So
okay, so the other thing will definitely be removed because there's no response there. And there's really no reason to do it because people could have multiple others, and it'll never get anywhere near any other response. Anyway, we'll take
like my dad died. I should be another.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, the best Black and the Black Times Infinity episode of 2020. So first one up is Always Unbiased. It's episode 248. Other one is Mamba Out, which is right after. Kobe Bryant passed away with a terrible helicopter flight. It's fucking awful. I Am the Law, number 277. Bloods Are King, number 276. And then Generational Knowledge, a real Black History episode. That for me, I don't want to like push anybody's opinion, but definitely listen to that episode. It's with Prodigy's mom, talking about what it was like for her growing up in the civil rights era, and it'll be really enlightening for people. I would like to have her on again with you and Stitch to talk about some things, especially with the upcoming civil unrest that's going to happen after today. And I would like to get her thoughts on this. And
I'd be down for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So please do. I think, and also the last one. I'll say the last one. We put in for the last, I think 2, maybe 3 years, suggestions for 2021. And so if you're listening to this, obviously you heard my voice. It's not even just suggestions. I would like to know personally if you. What your opinions are on the direction of the podcast over the past year, because we took a different direction with the podcast starting earlier last year, and I don't know as far as like the numbers look pretty good, but I don't know how many of our normal viewers or listeners appreciated it or not. So if you have a problem with the direction that we have gone with over the past year, please let us know. Or if you appreciate it, even more so, if you appreciated it over the last year, please let us know that you appreciated like the direction change that we went over the past year. Because I was just me personally speaking, I was uncomfortable with talking about a lot of things up until George Floyd got murdered on on the national stage. And then that's when I was just like, all right. Well, that's when we're like, we need to like talk about this, and it kind of snowballed from there. We talked about a lot of political issues and ethnic issues that we normally would not talk about. So if you don't appreciate it or don't want to hear it, let me know. But if you do want to hear more of it, let us know. It's not going to say that we're going to go either way, either more or less, but I would just like to know on a personal level what you people think about it. So.
And a lot of the stuff that people leave too, like, you know, it's good to hear, like, read some of the fun stuff that people are saying. And like, I think one big thing is, so we have a friend of ours who does the little timestamps, and I think that was a major thing. So having like the timestamps of when like the different topics we talk about was a really good suggestion. And like the fact that we give that to you now, like we are gonna give you timestamps for when you want to jump around to different topics that we talk about. This one's gonna be a really short one because it's like what happened in DC. 8 months of work.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were in a technically in an election year, so a lot of the stuff that happened did suck a lot of the air out of like our normal podcast. So it was a weird fucking year or whatever. I mean, normally we talk about events like E3 and Comic Con and stuff that we go to, but unfortunately none of that shit happened. And I mean, we were all just like everybody else was dealing with pandemic. So I mean, we unfortunately had to maybe hit our audience over the head with a lot of pandemic talk, and maybe we probably would have liked to, but I mean, unfortunately, I mean, we're all sitting at home, all wanting shit to get back to normal, and we're not doing the stuff that we normally would go to. I mean, normally we're even on previous year episodes, we're talking about movies we're going to see, baseball games, or vacations we've taken, but I mean, we're all sort of strapped in our houses, forced to watch news to see when shit's potentially going to get back to normal. So it was very heavy-handed political this year. Hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, things get a little bit back to normal in terms of like just being boring, in terms of like what's going on in our political cycle, and hopefully we get back out to doing some more nerdy, extroverted stuff in terms of like being out with the general public.
Really quickly, for 2020, I just want to go back on this. We had plans to be at Comic-Con. We had literal panels for Fanime. We had plans for WonderCon. Like, just to be very clear, we planned on going hard as fuck at all the California-based anime and comic conventions. And obviously, 2020 happened. So, real life happens. It gets in the way. But like, I think everybody was going through that. But go ahead.
And we don't know what's going to happen with 2021 because, like, we got a bunch of conventions and anime stuff that's happening that, I mean, the vaccine's coming and people are getting it, but it's like, it's still, everything's fucking up in the air right now. So, anybody who's still listening to the podcast, I just want to say thank you for continuing to listen. Thank you for, like, listening to the information that we provide and, like, the thankness that we try to give you every fucking week. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. PST time.
But this is your awards. This is where y'all fight, y'all argue, y'all vote, y'all make it happen, and tell us what you think should win. And I love when we do the reveal show. By the way, just to make sure we're all on the same page, we usually go about 2 to 3 weeks. When are we saying we're going to have the reveal for this? Because we're dropping it basically tomorrow or something.
Yeah, let's do 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
So the end of January.
Well, if we do 3 weeks, that falls into the time frame as our 300 episode. So that's our broadcast.
That's the best.
So
we're already. So episode 300 will.
Synergy.
Sounds good.
This is gonna. All right. So I've already had some people, especially Double Tank. He really wanted the guy that does not the transcripts, but the timestamps of all the episodes. He said he would really like to he's on board with us doing the pay for shots. Because episode 300 is gonna be a drunk cast.
We're gonna get so fucked up.
So
it's been a while since I summoned Super Drunk Blue. I mean, it's been a while. No, Drunk Blue's been around, but Super Drunk Blue is especially home base. Oh man.
So we're doing that. We're doing that one on a Friday.
Yeah, it
right?
definitely won't be a Wednesday. Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll have to be on a
let's go
Friday.
Friday.
And we're gonna. It'll be progressively more money in the chat
Yeah.
to have us do shots, and you have to literally put in. You have to put in super chat, like however many dollars, and then tell us who we need to take a shot, and then we'll do it.
Yeah,
So,
we'll also have some really good guests drop by. So we'll talk about that in the chat a little bit.
Yes.
We got some ideas going. But number 300, end of the month, last Friday of January is what we're looking at. Till then, vote for Golden Eggplants.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Let's wrap it up, guys, because we've gone. Blue, what you got popping this week?
Shit. Not a goddamn
yeah, shit
thing.
popping. All right.
I've been playing Sackboy, a big adventure on the PS5. I would say I'm probably about like 75% done with it. I'm probably gonna hit up that warrior fella, Hobby, and see if you want to squad up. I think he's playing as well because there's some multiplayer levels I need to complete to be able to get that platinum. But yeah, I'm playing that. We're waiting for Baby Blue to come. The sweetness. Right now we're in our third trimester, which is like fucking crazy. So she has her appointments every 2 weeks, and I don't have it with me, but she went and got a 3D ultrasound, and it's crazy because like looking at the picture, it's like okay, this is just some fucking blob. Whenever I see other people's pictures, but looking at this picture, it's like holy shit, like this is my kid, and like both my mom, the sweetness mom has been like, okay, that the kid already looks like you, like what the hell? The kid got my nose and this and that, but yeah, we're just preparing for the kid to get here. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Like setting up like the nurse, not the nurse, like there we have a room we're gonna have the kid in, but like right now he's gonna sleep with us until he reaches a certain age, and then like he's gonna have his own room. But yeah, just getting ready for life to really fucking change this goddamn house. And also we're looking at refinancing our house to try to bring our interest rate a little bit lower. But with the whole current selection, the whole situation going with the election, rates are kind of going back up, so we need to get in that motherfucker real quick. That's it for me.
Old Ninja, what you got?
So, I went out today, and for all you Star Wars nerds out there, they just launched their latest multimedia event. And I went out the other day and got the first big thing is the book that kicks off their event. This is Star Wars: The High Republic, Light of the Jedi. It just came out 2 days ago, and I picked this up. I plan on trying to start this weekend. Also, part of the event, this came out today too, is the first issue of the comic Star Wars: The High Republic. So this is a different story that tells from a different angle of the same event that happens in the book, and that event is going to permeate through the rest of the media that's going to come out the rest of the year. So these were in high demand today. Some places were kind of sold out, and I managed to get my copy. So I'm going to try to go through some of it this weekend, playing some more games, trying to get Stitch at raid level. I think he's right about there for some Ghost of Tsushima. So we're going to try to attempt all 3 parts of the raid. I know that B-Boy Frost is in the chat. Hopefully, he's always down, so hopefully we'll be able to squad up with him and complete these raids, get through them. Still playing Cyberpunk just a little bit. I finally hit the title screen, so now I'm able to do a little bit more, but I haven't really been playing that game as much. And then yeah, that's kind of about it. I mean, just watching some of these shows like Star Trek Discovery and whatnot, but that's kind of it.
Kind of piggyback on what Owen was saying. I actually started an audiobook on Ahsoka, which is the history of Ahsoka by E.H. Johnson, which is it's an audiobook. And so far, it's pretty interesting. Like having her in The Mandalorian made me want to go back and learn more about her history.
Right on.
There you
Yeah,
go.
the book should talk about how she got her white sabers, I believe.
Good shit. Stitch, what you got?
Not too much. I plan on playing Ghost of Tsushima. My character is almost leveled up to where it needs to be to do the raid. I think I'm like maybe like 83, 85 ish. So
Nice.
not too far off or whatever. I love that game. It's pretty dope. I got my friend BJ to buy it, so he's leveling up also. So we got another person we can do a raid with. Other than that, just sort of chilling. I was planning on barbecuing some ribs today, but then the Division 2 decided to break out in real life. As you see, so ruined my whole plan. So other than that, just sort of chilling and watching the baby develop. She's hysterical now. She knows how to like kind of get off of the couch and everything. Like she'll be on the couch and then she'll just kind of like wiggle over and then try to like lower herself, like not like head first like a kamikaze, but she'll like kind of like hang herself over the couch. Yeah, trying to dangle her feet. I'm like, yo, where you going? Kind of deal. And she can like go from like sitting down to like standing up holding something with like without any problems. So it's a matter of time before she starts getting mobile, running, trying to get into some shit. So I need to put a couple more parental locks on some cabinets in like our bedroom, bathrooms. I did the kitchen one, so I need to do some more parent proofing of the house. I got to take down the Christmas tree also. So
Oh, damn.
You could save a whole lot of money on baby proofing stuff by just putting up a baby gate.
I ended up getting those like little magnet things. It's like a weird little suction cut. It was like maybe like $20 for like a pack of like 12. And I'm like, I don't really have 12 cabinets where she could really reach into on her level.
Just put up a gate you just keep them confined into like one room, and it's way easier. Fuck all that other fucking putting 5 goddamn million baby locks on cabinets and doors and fuck that. Just get a baby gate. Like that's all you need.
What's kind of great about our house is that there's doors between every room. Like to get to the hallway, there's a door. To go to the kitchen, there's a door. So like if we have once our kid is here, and we're all hanging out in the living room, the doors there.
Even with
so they know how to open doors.
Yeah, I mean Riley. Yeah. I mean she's 4 now. She knows how to open doors. She knows how to open cabinets. All that shit. In the house that we're in now, we have not baby proofed anything, and she knows that there's one drawer that's for her, and that's it. So all of her shit is in this one drawer that's at the bottom, and everything else she's not supposed to go into, and she usually adheres to that. So yeah, it takes like training your kid. But yeah, the first step is just the baby gate really helps because then they're eliminated from the rest of your house. And it just makes it easier because yeah, just drilling all those fucking holes and all that other bullshit is just takes so much goddamn time. I know this because when we're going through the adoption process, we had to baby proof our old house, and it was like to the extreme level. So like when we had a second floor in the old house in
Latrobe?
No, it was in Escondido. Not Escondido, sorry. Oh. In Hayward. The old house in Hayward. We had to literally buy nets for the second floor where there was like bars, on the walkway.
It's like a mausoleum type deal.
Yeah, we had to like drill everything in, and then once we moved to the house in where the fuck we were last year or a couple of years back, but we had to like do the same thing. It was just like baby proof and everything. It was just like it's so ridiculous. It's just like you can just literally like just section off a part of your house and just be fine there. It's like you don't have to do all that shit.
What you got popping this week?
I had a lot of fucked up shit happen in my personal life. I'm not gonna talk about it on the podcast, but I am overcoming it. So, and I'm just dealing with that and dealing with this whole traitorous bullshit happening in America. And I talked about it, I think, years ago when I talked about toxic patriotism. And this is the culmination of that. Is these people that think they're patriots, but they're not. They're fucking traitors. Stop saying you're patriots. You're not. You don't understand what the original intent of America was supposed to be, or even the more modern concept of America being the melting pot. And you're traitors, and you tried to overthrow the government, and you fucking lost. You're gonna pull them L's, just like the Confederates did. So all you MAGA folks, you're now the Confederates of the 21st century. Fuck you. Fuck your cause. Fuck your couch. I'm out.
Me, I am really, really looking forward to everybody voting for these Golden Eggplant Awards. And I am catching up on some Final Fantasy and, of course, Doom Eternal. And then I can't recommend this strongly enough. Go watch that goddamn Onyx Equinox. There are parts of it that feel like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then there are parts that feel like a fucking horror movie. So that that is I can't pronounce anybody's fucking name. They're too ethnic for me. But yeah, that's a strong recommendation. That's all I got. Old Ninja, take us out.
All right, you just experienced the dankest podcast on the internet with We Are Black and Black Times Infinity.
Infinity.
You can find us anywhere on the internet with Beathan BTI. That's BTHANBTI. Follow us on Twitter at Beathan BTI. We're also on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts or Amazon Music, whatever. Radio Republic, Stitcher, Player FM, anywhere you can listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, we're on there. Go in there, rate, leave a comment, give us a 5-star rating. Check our official website, benheadproductions.com/BTI. Vote for the Golden Eggplants. They will be live soon. Probably tonight. Hopefully, if not tomorrow morning. Vote often, vote a lot. Let your voice be heard.
Impeach him, remove him, put him in jail.
Guantanamo.
We're out of here.